People, how are we doing today? I can tell you how I'm doing. I'm doing fantastically well. And I can see so many familiar faces in the room today. So first of all, guys, hello. How you doing? It's a new week. We're here to talk X-Men. We're here to talk Furioso. We're here to have some fun, as always. And you may see that I'm wearing a blazer, a very dapper blazer. That's because today I am a studio head. I am the head of a studio. You guys are going to convince me who should play the roles in the X-Men film. That's your job. My job is to be a snooty studio executive with my buttoned up blazer, like Don Draper, and decide who henceforth will play the role of Wolverine, for example, or Storm, or Jean Grey, or whatever. And you guys will duke it out, and I will come up with suggestions. You guys will also come up with suggestions, and then we will go through on a tier list, of course, and put those people into the right places. So we're going to do things a little different today. We're not going to have like massive, huge amounts of people on the tier list. We're going to pick out the ones that we feel are good, put them onto the tier list in real time, and then put them into the slots individually. But you guys will have a chance to argue who those people shall be. But before all of that, shall we, I think we should have a little celebration, because today we have got 12,000 followers, people. So thank you very much. Without you, I am nothing. And without me, I'm also nothing, technically speaking. But you guys are the reasons why this channel is so strong. You guys are like the core. The people in here now, there might be some new people, so I don't want to say everyone, but the core people in here now, typically speaking, are the people who push the channel as much as you can. And I really do appreciate that. So thank you for being part of the magic. You guys are incredible. So yeah, we will in a bit go through this X-Men list. We're gonna have a little chat before that, though. There's a proof. It's more than that, but this real-time thing is not great. But before that, we're gonna have a little chat. We're gonna talk about a few things. We're gonna talk about Furioso flopping at the box office. I mean, I put another community post on my page today about how it flopped, and kind of showing a downtrend between the last 9 years of cinema, and people still seem to be in denial. Okay, if you want to argue against math, then that's absolutely fine. But if it was like 1 or 2 years or 4 years since COVID, that would be fine. But it's been 9 years, which basically means 5 years prior to COVID, the numbers were still going down. So, but we're not gonna dwell on that too much. We're not gonna dwell on that. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna celebrate. First of all, I'm gonna crack open my version of my. I don't drink, so this is my. I haven't got any nasty stories about drinking. I just never have drank in my whole life. Just never felt the appeal to get drunk. So I'm gonna crack that open in a bit so we can celebrate our 12,000 followers or subscriptions. You guys can also do the same at home. Don't do any hardcore drugs, please. We want to stay on track. But if you just join the chat today, you guys are the director. Well, you're not directors. You guys are the casting directors. You will come to me with your suggestions for each of these roles in the X-Men film, the next X-Men film, and I am, as per my blazer, a studio executive, a wanky studio executive in LA, drinking. I don't know what they drink in LA, green juice and eat kale and stuff. So that's what I'm going to be today. First of all, big hello to everyone. Gagnan, Cohen, Jay, hello Jay. White Noise, loved your comment on the video, White Noise. Of course, Vitaphone. Mahalof, I always get your name wrong. Mihovit. Let me get you on screen. There you are. Mihoville. So sorry. And anyone else who's in here, if you're in here, just say a little hello so I know you're in here, and then I can say hello to you as well. So guys, we're gonna start off by talking about this little conundrum. We're gonna go through. Basically, this is like dinner time. We're gonna have our main course first, which is gonna consist of greens, and then we're gonna have our dessert afterwards. So to start off, we're going to have this. We're going to have this conversation, this difficult conversation that no one wants to have. Everyone's in denial. Everyone thinks that everything's going to be just fine. If they just make films better, then everything's going to be okay. No, unfortunately not. Yes, you can make better films. I mean, Furiosa isn't a bad film. I know my review seems like I think it's a bad film. It's not a bad film. It's just not a great film. However, it's good enough and it's got enough word of mouth to be doing a lot better at the box office. But it's only made 30 or 23, 25 million dollars in the first week, which I'm going to show you some figures in a bit that are going to contrast with that over the years. You're going to see that's not a very good number. The box office, the budget for this film, I think was like 200 million. So this is not going to make back its money. No chance. Like every week that's going to go down. So next week it'll be like, I don't know, 17 million, 15 million. If it stays in the cinema or in the theaters for another 4 weeks, it still won't make that money back. And it's doubtful it's going to stay that long. They'll probably put it straight onto streaming. So it's not looking good for this film, unfortunately. Has anyone actually seen the film? Because I know that my review was quite harsh, but has anyone actually seen the film? And what are your thoughts on the film? Are you loving the film? Hey, Theodora. I think I got that one right. Hello, Theodora. Kenny, hello. You will be here for just a short while. That sounds like a threat. Brutal Bad Boy. Just love that name. That name is amazing. So guys, have you seen this film? Have you seen Furiosa? I called it Furioso a few times in my review, or maybe once, and corrected myself. It's a very silly title. It's not very captivating, is it? Such a shame, such a good film, sad that it's failing. Well, okay, so here's the thing. The first film, or not technically the first film, the fourth film, Fury Road, that also failed as well. It didn't make a lot of money. So anyone who thought this was going to make a lot of money, I did actually, was wrong. So I was wrong. But yeah, the only way to fix this, Cohen, go on, tell us. You've got the cure. Tell us, Cohen. What is the way to fix this conundrum? So yeah, Vitaphone. I was actually watching backstage when you put this on the chat. In the UK, the film has made 2.5 million, which comes to 1 in 268 people saw this film. That's the States, 1 in 153 people saw the film. It's really over. We are nothing. Yeah. Again, maths. It's just pure math. So anyone going, it's because of Memorial Day, it's because of this, it's because of that. That is just not true. And I'm going to show you why right now. I wish it was true. I really do. I don't want cinema to die. I know it's the name of my channel, but I don't want to actually die. Come on. Right. So these figures are courtesy of the wonderful Dan Murrell. And if you're not subscribed to Dan Murrell, do go over there. He's a wonderful YouTuber. I've been watching him since Screen Junkies days. And he's the best. He's the quintessential commentator on all things based around the box office. And as you can see, this is the lowest grossing Memorial Day #1 movie since 1980. 1980 is kind of when they started doing these figures. So there's probably worse and best before that, but we don't have the figures for that. So the #1 worst box office film on Memorial Day is Bustin' Loose, which stars Richard Pryor, which is 1981. And then after that, we have Empire Strikes Back. Now, the reason for that is because they only released it at a few cinemas on the Memorial weekend because they wanted to get the buzz going. So that doesn't really count. So that technically means that Furioso, a Mad Max saga, is the second worst ever performing box office film on Memorial Day. That is shocking. That is shocking. Honestly, that the magnitude of that is overwhelming. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber. What do any of us know? But anyway, guys, listen, if you've just joined the chat, we've reached 12,000 subscribers, which is incredible. Thank you all for subscribing to the channel. If there's some of you who are watching who haven't subscribed, then you're very naughty and I want you to subscribe. There's probably a good 40% of people that watch the videos that haven't subscribed as well. So if they could do that as well, that'd be quite nice. If you guys have not noticed yet, at the top, pinned at the top of the chat is a poll. This poll is going to basically determine who's going to be the director of our X-Men movie. So how this is going to work is we're going to find our director first and foremost, our wonderful director. You guys, please jump on the poll and find out or vote for who you want to be the director of this X-Men film that we're going to make together with the help of the MCU and Disney. So you guys today are going to vote for the director. We're going to discuss the casting for each character. And I'm going to be the studio exec who says yes, no, and so forth. So jump on the old poll and let me know who you guys think should be the director of our X-Men film. I'm going to get the result on screen right now, or the results on screen right now. So far, it's a tie between Christopher Nolan and Gareth Evans. Edgar Wright has no votes. I really thought some people would have voted for Edgar Wright. I thought he would have won, but he's got no votes. That surely cannot be right. Shall I refresh that and see if that's actually correct? That doesn't seem right. But guys, the link to vote is at the top of the chat. So jump in there and cast your votes. In a bit, we're going to start going through the list of actors that I've compiled. If you guys right now, what's this? What do you mean you don't have Twitter? Come on, even I've got Twitter and I never bloody use it. I can't log into much. Okay, you can also vote in the old thingy here by just typing the name of the person. I'll kind of, yeah, that is right, Kerwin. Only 5 people. Kerwin, I think you're one of the first people to ask me about Twitter. I don't use Twitter, so probably people saw me posting on Twitter and were like, "What is going on? Why is he posting on Twitter? He'd never posted on Twitter." So that's probably why there's been 5 votes. But you guys can jump in. You can vote. You can put a name in the chat as well if you think anyone particular should be the director. There's some choices there. Some choices of 4 people or 5 people, 4 people. So yeah, jump in there and vote for it. And in a bit, we're going to choose our director. So guys, yes, talk to me. Are there any names that are jumping out to you who should play who from our list of wonderful characters from the X-Men franchise? So we have Professor X, Wolverine, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Gambit, Magneto, and Rogue. I think we've got one more. Let me have a quick look. We have also got Storm, and that is it. That's all we're going to choose today because, I don't want to sit here and go through every single bloody character. So those are the people. Who jumps out to you guys who should actually be any of those characters? Because I've made a little list, like I've said, but if I've missed anyone, we can always put them in last minute. So guys, who do you think should, for example, let's start from the top. Let's go from Wolverine. Let's do the big one first. Who do you think should be Wolverine? And if any names pop up consistently that I've not put on the list, then I would add them. I will add them. Mel Gibson, Wolverine for start. Maybe he's on the list. Maybe he's not. Maybe. Edgar Wright gets my vote. Yeah, that'd be a very interesting X-Men film, I must say. I would love to see that film. Henry Cavill as Wolverine. I think some people think Henry Cavill can play everything. I'm not so sure he can play Wolverine. I don't know why. It's not working for me. And this is why I'm the studio exec with my blazer on, because I make snap decisions. And my snap decision is Henry Cavill wouldn't be a good Wolverine. This is a wonderful choice, by the way, Vitaphone. He's not on the list, so I may add him. That's a really good choice. His son is on the list, surprisingly. Scott Caan as Wolverine would work beautifully. Scott Caan would actually be a wonderful Wolverine. That's a great shout. I love that. Okay, let's move on. Let's do Cyclops. Let's do Cyclops. What are we saying about Cyclops? Whilst I type in the name Clint Eastwood and Scott Caan. Who would be a wonderful Cyclops, guys? For me, Daniel Craig. Okay, so maybe he's on the list. If I say maybe he's on the list, he's on the list. So Daniel Radcliffe's already on the list. So is Mel Gibson. So they're on the list already. Scott Caan wasn't on the list. Neither was Clint Eastwood. Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner as Wolverine, or Kevin Costner as the wonderful Cyclops. Let me know, White Noise. Perhaps Tom Hardy for Wolverine. Tom Hardy is on the list, and his American accent is absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. Not good. This is actually more difficult than I thought. Kerwin, you came into the chat giving it the big one, giving it a large one. You were like, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, I'm going to say this, I'm going to do that. Well, you've not come up with a name yet. So I'm waiting in anticipation for you to come up with one name. Costner as Cyclops. Really? Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm not sure about that. Cillian Murphy as Cyclops. He's got the svelte face, but he hasn't quite got the, the body and the gravitas. I don't know about him. I'm not sure about him. Let's move on. Let's do Professor Xavier. Danny DeVito for Professor Xavier. Yeah, brutal bad boy. Because I know you're trying to troll, but I'm going to put him as Professor Xavier instead of Cyclops. Who else we got? Jude Law. Mate, yeah, you know what? In his younger days, for sure. So that's a good shout. That's actually a great shout. Who else we got, guys? Who else we got? Young Silverado. Ah, I'm seeing it now. He's very all-American, isn't he? Austin Butler as Cyclops. I'm going to tell you this, Vitaphone. I've not got Austin Butler down as Cyclops, but I have got him on the list. So Cyclops is boring. Is he? No, he is boring, but he's like Leonardo in the Turtles. He's the guy that everyone looks up to. He's going to save the day. He's going to make the right choices. He's going to have a conflict of interest or a conflict of right decision, and then he's going to make the right decision because he's destined to lead. Christian Bale as Cyclops. Yes. Let that come. Let that be added to the list. Let's move on to Professor Xavier, though, guys. That was good, Cohen. Finally. Hello, Rare Gaming. Good to have you in the chat. Dave Franco is a young... So here's the thing, guys. This is the top rule. This is the major rule here. I'm going to put it in the banner right now, okay? Massive, massive rule. No young X-Men. That was an abomination. In the film Apocalypse, the young Cyclops, the young Jean Grey, just a whole Saved by the Bell cast, not interested. So we're not doing any young, we're doing straight to the adults. We're not doing any young people. None of that. No backstories, no this and that. We're going to go straight into the action. That's the script that I have underneath my desk over here. It says in the script, no young people. So we will not have any Dave Francos as young Professor X. But he's pretty old now, so maybe he can be old Professor X. I don't think I can stay long. Got math. What are you doing here? We've got a math exam. Get off. Go on, clear out. Ben Kingsley, that is a wonderful choice. He's not on my list. Damn you. You guys are making my life harder. Every time you add a name to the list, it's just making my life harder. Albert Finney as Professor. Oh, that's a great choice as well. He's got a really weird way of talking, though, Albert Finney. So I don't know if he would be as smooth as Patrick Stewart. I'm not sure if he would be as good. Mark Strong is on the list already. Good shout. Great shout. Jason Statham. You know what? For the Bants, let's stick him in there. Just making my life a bit easier. Let's move on. Let's do Jean Grey. What are we thinking about Jean Grey? Or, you know what? Let me just get the names up. What am I doing? This is a waste of everyone's time. Let's have some fun. That's what we came here for, right, guys? We came here to have some fun. So let's do what we need to do. Let's jump onto these wonderful choices. And again, if I think anyone is appropriate from your choices, then I will add them into the final tier. But this is it. The game has begun, guys. I wanted to do a little bit of foreplay, celebrate the 12,000 subscribers, talk about the box office, but I'm just too excited. I want to get on with this. I want to do this. Now, that's definitely not the screen that you guys need to see. So let me get rid of that screen. But let's do this. Let's get into this. Normally, I spend like half an hour talking crap. Well, not anymore. Today, we're going to jump straight into this. We're going to have some fun. So We're going to go through this whole list here, and we're going to pick out our favorites and then start making our tier list. So these are the names and the people that I have thought of. If you guys have any favorites, shout them out. I'm going to go through them one by one and have a little chat about each one of them, why I think they'd be good, why I think they'd be bad. In the chat, again, put some names down if you think that a person will be wonderful out of the choices I've made here. I've written down a few of your names already for some of the roles. So I've not spoken about Gambit yet. So if you guys got any thoughts on Gambit, put it in the chat. And this would be pretty, that'd be really some really clever casting there, Jay. But yeah, put it in the chat if you think Gambit could be better served by any of these individuals. And in the meantime, I'm going to talk you through them. And remember, guys, we're not doing the young X-Men here. This is the old X-Men. When I say old, I mean they're in their adulthood. They're not teens walking around the whatever it's called mansion. What's it called? The mansion, the X-Mansion, and talking about their puberty periods and so forth. They will be having manly, womanly, and themly chats about real life consequences, not about whether they're, sprouted in certain areas. So guys, let's talk about Brad Pitt as Gambit. Now, Gambit is, what's the term for Gambit? He's from New Orleans, and I think they're called Cajun, I think. You guys can correct me in the chat. He's very charming, witty. Obviously, he loves Rogue. He's got his little card tricks that actually know what his power is. It's just card tricks, I guess. And he's roughly, I'm going to say he's about 35, maybe 30. Now, with our casting, we're going to assume the actor is in the right age to play the role. So right now, this picture of Brad Pitt, he's obviously not in his 30s, probably like 50 something here. So ignore that. Think of a young Brad Pitt from Seven, that kind of raw, wily, kind of wet behind the ears, charming kind of character. Do you think Brad Cajun, that's it. Do you think Brad Pitt would be good? But before we move on to that, Austin Butler, perfect choice. We know him as Elvis. We've done a wonderful, wonderful accent. I have no doubt that he could easily pull off the perfect accent for this role. He looks the part. He feels the part. He's young, fresh. He's in the right age. He's got the Oscar buzz about him. And remember, guys, you guys are presenting the people to me. I'm the studio executive with my blazer. So I'm giving you the person that I think is going to be ideal for the role. I'm going to try and sell to you. And you guys, as the casting team, as the producers, are going to come to me and say to me, this person's better. That's how we're going to do it. It's going to be really fun. So Austin Butler, for me, would be an ideal choice. I think out of all these people, in terms of just, across the, if we're ticking all the boxes, he kind of ticks all the boxes. Next up is Channing Tatum, who, has been rumored for years to be playing Gambit. He's even gone on the record saying he wants to play Gambit on many occasions. He's desperate to play the role. I don't know why. Doesn't really look like Gambit. I mean, even with the hair, it doesn't look like Gambit. Not for me. Not for me. I don't think he's got the acting chops to play Gambit. So I'm gonna say no, but you guys can overrule me if you want. Ben Barnes, the wonderful Ben Barnes. You may know him from Daredevil season 3. You may know him from Lion Witch and the Wardrobe series. He might be in the second film, actually. I don't know. I've not seen any of them. He's a British actor. He's okay with accents. So he's not going to be, your Tom Hardy and your Benedict Cumberbatch. He's going to have a good accent. He looks the part. Look at him. He looks the part. He looks like Gambit. He can pull it off. He's got the demographic. He's got the young hearts on his side. This is the guy. Or maybe he's not. Timothy Elephant. One of my favorite actors. One of my favorite actors in the world. We're talking about Justified. We're talking about Deadwood. We're talking about Scream 3 or Scream 2. You can correct me in the comments. Charming guy. Charming actor. Very much being overlooked when it comes to Hollywood movies. This could be his one. Now, remember, he's going to be younger. Right now, Timothy Oliphant's about 55, 56, 57. He's going to be in his prime when we cast him. So we're going to go back in time and cast him when he's in his prime. So he could be ideal. He'd probably be my second choice. But I do love a bit of Taylor Kitsch, the failed Hollywood actor. So he started his big career off in Friday Night Lights, and he started alongside the wonderful Jesse Plemons. They tried to make him into a thing, and he wasn't. He failed spectacularly. Every film they put him in, Battlefield Earth, what's that film? John Carter, just spectacularly. So he went, okay, I'm going to do TV. True Detective season 1 was great. I can do True Detective season 2, bring my star back up. That failed. He's also played Gambit before. Just keep that in mind. And that film was an abomination. So guys, I've gone through everyone. What are we saying? Who are we choosing out of this list? Have a little chat. Let me know. Glenn Powell as Gambit. I've actually got Glenn Powell down as Cyclops. But if anyone thinks that Glenn Powell will be good, I don't think he can do the accent, personally. But if anyone thinks that he could be a good Gambit, let me know. Lee Van Cleef, who is the famous cowboy actor. Are you talking about that for Gambit? Let me know. Austin Butler is a win for Gambit, zero argument. I kind of agree. Oh, I like Glenn Powell. Okay, so that's 2 for Glenn Powell. Anyone else? Aaron Taylor Johnson for Gambit. Aaron Taylor Johnson cannot play Gambit. I think a couple of times I've broken the rules on this list. We'll have to go through and see. But I think for the most part, I think 99.9% of the part, I've not cast anyone or suggested to cast anyone who's already in the franchise or already in the MCU. And Aaron Taylor Johnson is already in the MCU as I've forgotten the name. He couldn't play the Speedy guy because in the film before someone else played. Yeah, it's all very complicated, but he's already been in the MCU, so he can't play the role, unfortunately. Sandra Bullock. Oh, Martin Bullock. Yes. Deadwood. What are you thinking, guys? Austin Butler, Robert Pattinson as Gambit. Ooh, that is a curveball and a half. That's a great choice. Timothy for sure. David Lyons. Who's David Lyons? Who is that? Joe Gilgood as Forget Me Not. Joe Gilgan. Tim or Glenn? Tim or Glenn? 2 for Tim. No, 1 for Tim. So guys, in the chat, I just need a name. Just need the first name. Austin, Brad, Channing, Ben, Timothy, and then we can move on to the next one. What are we doing here, guys? Smash a name in the comments or in the chat whilst I have my 12,000 celebration drink. 2 Austins. 1 more Austin and Austin wins. All we need is 1 more Austin. Ooh, we got a Brad. We got a Channing. This is just like 12 Angry Men, guys. This is a deliberation. This is a deliberation to end all deliberations. Austin Butler. Okay, that's 3. Okay. So I'm gonna say that Austin is our Gambit. But you guys also chose Tim and anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Glenn, we're going to come on to Glenn. Don't worry. Glenn's got another character, a bigger character lined up. So Tim and also Austin. Okay, cool. So we'll come back to that in a bit. Right. Next up is Magneto. Every great superhero needs a great super villain. And who can say there's a better conflict than X versus Magneto? 2 very different ideologies. It maybe is the best. I know we got Joker and Batman. We got Lex Luthor and Superman, which is not really even a battle, really. I think in the comics it probably is, but in real life it's stupid. Guys, for me, this is the best one. The ideologies that are deep-rooted in the idea of war, racism, so forth, they're so juxtapositioned that you have that convergence of emotions between both characters who love each other, really. There's definitely something going on there. They physically, I think, romantically love each other. But there's also that pulling apart of Thoughts? So on this list, we've got this man here, Viggo Mortensen. We have Viggo Mortensen. So he's a Danish actor who does American accents perfectly. He's done a Cuban accent in Carlito's Way. Excellent performance. He's done a British accent in The Lord of the Rings. The guy is a chameleon. Wonderful chiseled face. He looks a bit older than this picture now as well, so he may just be the perfect age for this. Next up is Michael Fassbender, the Irish-German actor, who's definitely in the right age, not really, but he would be kind of appealing to your younger audience, really. He's played it before, so he's already in the canon. Should we stick with him? He's had a rough few years, though. He's done a lot of bad films. He's not got that gravitas that he used to have. He's made a lot of flops, like The Iceman. So do we want him? He might be box office poison. I know Vitaphone loves a bit of Michael Fassbender, but do we love him? Jeremy Irons, classically trained British actor of the 80s, the 90s. He is in my favorite Die Hard film, Die Hard with Vengeance, my favorite Die Hard film. He's not great in it. He's not bad in it, but he's been in so many other things. He's been in a recent TV show, the Watchmen TV show. The guy is a living legend. He done an Italian accent really well in that rubbish Ridley Scott film. Is he a good choice? Good age. Next up, Giancarlo Esposito would have to change the backstory of Magneto, which doesn't sit right with me, but he's hot right now. I've not seen him do much range. Like in his career, I've seen him do much range, but recently he just plays the same character over and over again. And he's your archetypal bad guy, and he's loving it, but I don't know if I like him in that role too much. I want him to push himself. This person here is Paul Newman. Paul Newman, why not? It's a rogue choice, very rogue choice. Do you see what I did there? Rogue choice. But guys, what we thinking? What we thinking? Klaus Kinski as Magneto. The guy's mad. Listen, as a studio executive, which is what I am, again, the Blazer, I cannot have that man on my sets, on my multi-million-dollar sets, shouting at the cinematographer, a director, his fellow female actors, saying lewd, crude things. No, he will not be on my set. Ralph Fiennes. So Rare Gaming, Ralph Fiennes is actually on our Professor Xavier list. So what are you guys thinking about Ralph Fiennes? Maybe he can be Magneto. Not a bad shout. Pierce Brosnan. Ooh. Okay. Pierce Brosnan, eh? That's a lovely shout. I'm liking that. Okay, so we had Tim and Austin for Gambit, and we just had a shout for Pierce Brosnan. What are we thinking, guys? What else are we thinking? What else are we thinking? If Giancarlo is Magneto, then LeVar Burton is Professor X. That changes the whole story to a point where, as a studio exec, nowadays I'd be like, "That's brilliant. That's so woke. I love that. That's so woke. I love that." But I'm an old school studio exec, and I'm thinking, no. Are we deep faking Paul Newman? His clone sitting around somewhere. So we are using people that have passed away. We are doing that. And we are using people that are quite old, like Clint Eastwood. So it is possible. We can do it. We can do this. Hello, Pascal. Pascal, the reason I have a suit today is we are celebrating 12,000 subscribers, which is thanks to you in no small part, but also because today I'm a studio exec and I'm making big decisions, big boy decisions. You better believe it. And my first decision is we will not have LeVar Burton as Professor X. That's my first decision. He's not big enough physically and, career-wise. I like Jeremy Irons for Magneto. Okay. Anyone else, guys? If you're thinking about changing backstories, then Javier Bardem. Kerwin, tell me, how would you change the script? Because I've got the script right here under my desk. It's written by a top Hollywood writer. I can't tell you who. And the story right now has Magneto as a child in a concentration camp in Poland. So how would you change it from that? Or would you just do an accent of sorts? Anyone else? Pierce Brosnan. We're getting lots of Pierce Brosnans here. So it seems like Pierce may win. Jeremy Irons also seems to win. We can revive Christopher Lee as well. Okay, so I'm thinking Pierce Brosnan and Jeremy Irons are your guys' favorites here, and I'm going to move on. Right, this one may be quite fun. This is Storm. It says over here, moments, but it shouldn't. It should say Storm. And there you go. Now it says Storm. Right. So, guys, we've got the wonderful Zoe Kravitz, who was Catwoman in the Batman. So she's not going to break canon because she's not been in the MCU. Although technically, I think she was in the MCU. Can someone fact check me? I think she was in the first revival with James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. Can someone quickly fact check me on that? I think she's in that film. If so, she can't be in this film. So please fact check me on that. Next one is Thandie Newton. Thandie Newton is British / I think she's South African actress, and she was in Mission Impossible 2. She was recently in Westworld, and she was wonderful in Westworld until the show went downhill and kaputs. Wonderfully, wonderfully talented actress. Wonderfully talented. Next up is Pam Grier. And of course, we are going to go to Pam Grier's prime in order to cast her. Now, in her prime, she was very popular in blaxploitation movies, but she was never really popular in mainstream cinema. So it's a bit of a risk, Pam Grier, but she's got the chops. I'm not sure she can do an African accent. I don't think she can, but let's pretend she can. Next up is the wonderful Naomi Harris, who was Miss Moneypenny in the James Bond series. And she's been in many a film. She was in Moonlight as the mother of our wonderful protagonist. Fantastic actress. She was also in Pirates of the Caribbean, where she played a Jamaican character. So she can do accents. She's a good choice. Over here, I'm trolling you guys. I've put Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith. Let me see if anyone has fact-checked me on the old Zoe Kravitz thing. Let me know, guys, about Zoe Kravitz, because I think she's already in the MCU. Oh, these are good choices. Unfortunately, Brutal Bad Boy, Zazie Beetz has already been in the MCU because she was in Deadpool 2. So she can't be in this. Tessa Thompson is already in the MCU, so she can't be in this as well. You see, that's the problem. There's not enough roles for black actresses, and then therefore there's not many black actresses. So when the roles come in, they get taken, and the MCU have used a lot of black actresses. So yeah. Zoe Saldana. She can't audition. She's already in the MCU. Can't happen. Tina Turner. Okay. All right. I mean, that's actually a pretty good choice. She was awful in Mad Max. Welcome to the Thunderdome. So I don't know about that, actually. Halle Berry. Should we just stick with Halle Berry? With Halle Berry? Or maybe we should use Halle Berry from the Disney Little Mermaid film. Angela Bassett is the last one. And I didn't talk about Jada Pinkett Smith. So Jada Pinkett Smith is a really good actress. She was in the Batman or the, what's it called? Gotham? Was it called Gotham? I think it was called Gotham, the TV series. She's really good in that. Throughout her whole career, she's been really good in anything she stars in. So she's a good actress. She's just a little bit problematic. Let's just say that. Halle Berry has an Oscar. That helps. And she also plays Storm already. So she's already canon. And then Angela Bassett has many Oscar nominations, and she is a wonderful actress and a wonderful human being. So, guys, let me know about Zoe Kravitz. Has she been eliminated? Ooh, Brutal Bad Boy. You are absolutely right. Does that count, though? Does that count? It's like a little snippet of his face for like 2 seconds. I guess it does. She was an X-Men First Class. I thought so. Yeah. Have they? Vitaphone, have they? Name me someone who they've reused. I don't think they have. Not in this particular incarnation of the MCU. I don't think they have. But if they have, let me know. If Amy... J. Taylor Russell. Wonderful shout. She's not been in the MCU. She's a very highbrow actress. She's a bit young as well. And I don't want any young Chris Evans. No, it doesn't count because Fantastic Four isn't canon. So it didn't count. Sorry. I always thought Jada Pinkett Smith was a brilliant professor. I don't want any smoke from Big Willie, so I'm not even going to laugh at that anymore. Angela Bassett wasn't. Yes, she was. So Zoe Kravitz and Angela Bassett are out, which for me leaves Thandie Newton and Naomi Harris, and we're going to move on. And if you guys disagree with that, let me know. I think Taylor Russell is a wonderful actress, but she's just too young. And I don't want kiddies in this film. I want proper adults. We're having a proper film here, guys. I'm not having any messing around. Okay, so this is Rogue. Now, if you know Rogue, you know that she's famous for two things. She has a really strong accent, which I don't. Maybe the guys in the chat, the American guys in the chat, can tell me what part of America she's from, because I can't identify that. I know it's deep south somewhere, maybe. I don't know. But let me know. X-Men is Fox, not MCU. Well, X-Men technically now is MCU, which is why they haven't made a film yet. Got you there, Vitaphone. Rogue. So she has a very deep southern accent. I don't know what part of the South she's from. She's a Southern Belle. Southern Belle. She's a Southern Belle. Okay, so she has a Southern accent, so the person needs to have acting chops. On top of that, she's famous for an episode of the TV series where her bum is extended to a very big size, which was probably like a very early form of OnlyFans Instagram type thing. So the actress, I feel, needs to live up to the hype. We have Sydney Sweeney. Now, I don't know anything about these ladies' behinds. Maybe you guys know more than me. So I'm not going to judge them on their behinds, but I am going to judge them on their acting talent and their likability. Sydney Sweeney, I think, is a genius. She knows what she's doing. She knows what, and you guys know what she's doing too. So she's very popular right now for many reasons. One is that she starred in a film that she produced recently, and another is other reasons. So guys, what do you think about Sydney Sweeney? I've not really seen her act properly, so I cannot say a word to her acting talent. I don't think she can do a Southern Belle accent, but I could be wrong. This lady here is wonderful. I don't think she's right for the role, but I couldn't think of anywhere else to place her. And I'm the studio exec, and I think she's going to be a hot piece of shit. So if I want to put her in the film, I can do it. Her name is Sasha Cayley. She played Supergirl, and she was surprisingly brilliant in the Flash movie. Really huge fan. And I want her in the film. So you guys need to find a character for her to play in this film. That's your jobs. Next up is Maya Hawke, who is the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. And she looks just like Uma Thurman. She's a bit young, granted. I don't know how old she is, maybe 25, 26. I don't think she's particularly the most incredible actress, but she's a shout. Next up is the wonderful... she was in Nope, and I can't remember her name, so I need to find the name right now. The wonderful Keke Palmer, that's the one. The wonderful Keke Palmer, who I don't, I saw her in Nope. I don't really know much about her. You guys probably know more about her than I do. She's suggested as being one of the choices for Rogue, so there she is. I can't really speak to that. Next up is the magnificent Rachel Evan Wood. I think it's Rachel Evan Wood or Rachel Wood Evan, whatever it is. She is famous or infamous for her performance in Westworld, where she is definitely the best thing in Westworld, especially in season 1. She is creepy as F. Wonderful actress. Next up here is an actress from the Buffy series. Do you guys remember the Buffy series? Sarah Michelle Gellar. She plays a character in the Buffy series. Can't remember her name. She's also in another TV show, which was really popular as well. And her name is, I need to check her name right here. Her name is Eliza Dushku. She's an Albanian actress. Well, she's American Albanian actress. And sure, whatever. Next up is Amy Adams. Amy Adams. You know how much I love Amy Adams. She's one of our top stars here at the studio. And we need to give her a franchise picture because, unfortunately, DC didn't work out. The DCEU didn't work out. So maybe she can play Rogue. And you guys keep telling me she's an amazing actress. So I'm sure she can do the Southern Belle accent. Next up is my personal favorite, Anne Hathaway. I think she'd be an incredible Rogue. Incredible. Oscar winner. Shaved her hair off for the role. Went to the Oscars with her shaved head. Wonderful. She played Catwoman in Batman The Dark Knight Rises, which is an awful film. She's got the chops, guys. She's got the chops. Next up is Daisy Ridley, the much maligned actress. Daisy Ridley. British, hasn't done much, been struggling ever since her stint in the Star Wars movies. Are we going to give her her big break? Is this her time? Is this the one? I'm actually a big fan of hers because, listen, the character she played I don't want to go into Star Wars right now, but the character she played was awful. The first film, she was pretty good. Like, the character was good, apart from the ending. But after that, she was awful. But I think she's been unfairly blamed for the character. It's not her fault. She's never come out and been publicly rude or dismissive or anything. She's always been very respectful. So I want to give her a chance. Next up is Zoe Kravitz again. But of course, we know she cannot be part of this film because she has already been in the MCU. Guys, I have been talking and I've not read your messages. So let me quickly look through them and see what's going on here. So we have got from you guys, we have got Kristen Stewart as Rogue. Not a bad shout. I'm a huge fan. Love that. She's from Mississippi. Do you think Timothée Chalamet would be good Wolverine? The speculation, I don't. I think he'd be an awful Wolverine. We're not having kids in this film. We're having adults. I actually think Logan is one of the best performances from a child in modern film. Yeah, we may talk about that in a bit when we come to Logan. Margaret Qualley. She is a wonderful actress. I'm a huge fan, but she looks too young. I'm not having kids in this film. Olivia Holt is from Mississippi. Sydney is great in Euphoria. Okay. I mean, I saw the first episode and she was naked for the whole thing. So, yeah. Rooney Mara. Ooh, Sagnick. Rooney Mara for the Storm. That would definitely get every single person who is protesting against countercasting off their seats. And I don't want to be the studio exec who has this office burnt down. So maybe you can suggest her for another role like Jean Grey. So just hang about and suggest her for that. Okay, don't know what that means. So guys, what are we thinking about Rogue? Parker Posey. Ooh. She's a bit old, but I guess when she was younger, she would have been good. Okay, let me write that down. Parker Posey. Such a strange actress as well. She's so strange. She was recently in the TV show Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and she's strange in that as well. But very good actress. So, guys, what are you thinking? Evan Rachel Wood. I got her name so wrong, didn't I? Evan Rachel Wood. What are we thinking, guys? The speculation. We've done one villain. I had a look at the villains, and they're all very they've got things on their faces and stuff, and it's just not castable. Anyone can play those roles. Hilary Swank. That's another great shout. Love that. She doesn't necessarily have the look, but Florence Pugh. I think she's already in the MCU. She is already in the MCU, Cohen, so she can't be this role. She can't be playing this role. Is trolling me, name dropping Sarah Michelle Gellar and Sydney Sweeney in one call. What do you mean by that, Vitavone? What do you mean by that? Mia Goth, that is a magnificent shout. Look at that, Mia Goth. She's a bit wiry, but I guess she could work out and make it work. Mia Goth. Wonderful. Right, guys. From the list I've got here, what are we choosing? Let's make a decision. So I've written down Parker Posey, Mia Goth. I think they're great choices. I need a choice, or I'm going to be the studio exec and decide for myself, and you're going to have to deal with it. And I'm going to choose Anne Hathaway. So, guys, what we thinking? What are we thinking? I remember that. Yes. Oh my God. I narrowly forgot that. You brought it up again, and I remember when you absolutely destroyed every woman since the 90s. Daisy Ridley, Zendaya as Rogue. She's already in the MCU, unfortunately. I did have her down Storm maybe, but she's already in the MCU. What are you thinking, guys? Anne, bro, she's too good to deny. Yeah, okay. So we have 3 choices for that. So they will go on the tier list, and we will dukes it out later on. But we are getting perilously close to the big one. I know what you guys are waiting for. I know why you guys are here. I know exactly why you're here. Why do you think I left him to last? Right, next up is Jean Grey. Jean Grey. Let's talk about Jean Grey. But whilst I'm talking about Jean Grey, guys, if you've not hit the like button, please hit the like button. I want to also extend my thank you to you guys for subscribing, firstly. If you've not subscribed, please do. We've got 12,000 followers or subscribers as of today, which is a huge achievement because I've been doing this for like, I don't know, 7-8 months, not been very long at all. And you guys have been just lovely and warm and loving since day one. A lot of you guys have been here since day one, like Rear Gaming. Been talking to Red Gaming since day one. Vitaphone, I remember your first comments as well. Jay, remember us talking ages ago. So yeah, a lot of you guys have been here since day one, and big, huge love to you. So hit the like button and let's keep growing. Let's keep growing, guys. We can do this. We can do this. We can beat the critical drinker. Maybe. But, you know, it's not about competing. It's about being part of something beautiful. But if I do beat the critical drinker, that would be wonderful. Right. Jean Grey. First up is someone. Who is this? Is this Alexandra Daddario? Listen, I'm not a huge fan. Stunning, beautiful, wonderful, stunning, gorgeous. Can she act? Not really, but she's on the list. Next up is Anna. I always get a name wrong. Anna Taylor-Joy. Correct me if I've said that wrong. She's not in the MCU. In fact, I think she technically is because she was in that awful horror film. Guys, do you think she should stay in there? Do you think she should still be part of the MCU? As in, do you think we should keep her as a choice? Because I think she'd be a good Jean Grey. But anyway, she's a wonderful actress. I don't think she's been Oscar nominated just yet, but I'm sure she will be very soon. And, you know, she's right now very popular. Next up is Eliza Gonzalez. She was in Baby Driver, which is directed by Edgar Wright. Now, that reminds me, guys, if you've just joined the chat, you can go to the top of the chat and you can see that I've got a poll on my Twitter page where you can vote for the director of this film. And we're going to put the director into the tier list when you guys choose the director. Eliza Gonzalez, she was also in Mr. and Mrs. Smith for a very brief amount of time. She's in a new TV show called Three Body Problem. And, you know, Jean Grey, maybe. This is a very popular woman right now, Ella Purnell. She was in Fallout, a TV show I despise with all my heart, but I know some people love it, so I'm going to be very respectful to it. British actress, probably around about the right age. I don't really know much about her. She's okay in Fallout, so what are we thinking? Next up is an actress called something, and I don't know. She was suggested by many various Reddit sections, and her name is Emily Rudd. I know nothing about her, so I cannot speak on her. Emma Stone. Oscar-winning actress, twice Oscar-winning actress, and at the right age now. She's got the gravitas. She's got that wonderful energy about her right now. I can see her doing big things. Next up is my favorite choice, Emily Blunt. I think she'd be a wonderful Jean Grey. It's going to take a lot for us to convince. It's going to for us to convince her to do the role. She doesn't seem like she'd want to do the role, but I think with enough of those, you know, just slide a little brown bag under her husband's door, and I think she might come on board, you know, guys. I know she was meant to play Sue Storm, but she didn't. So maybe this is the role for her. This is not, I keep thinking this is Aubrey Plaza. It's not Aubrey Plaza. It is Jessica Henwick, who, yes, she is half Asian. Doesn't matter, guys. We're all the same. We're all the same here. We're all connected. That's what we are. So maybe she's in The Matrix 4. I liked her in The Matrix 4. I hate the film. I think she was really good in The Matrix 4. She's also in Iron Fist. And she's also in that awful Rian Johnson film, Glass Eye, Glass Onion, Glass whatever it's called, 2. Kirsten Dunst, who I just saw put a wonderful performance in Civil War on Sunday. She is probably too old, maybe, but we're doing it based on backwards, forwards ages, so we're all good with her. She's technically not in the MCU, although technically she is because she was in Spider-Man and now Tobey Maguire's in the MCU, so maybe she can't play the role. It's all very complicated. Next up is, I think, a great shout. Imagine this, guys. Imagine Lindsay Lohan didn't have a breakdown and go crazy. She would have been a wonderful choice for this role, I think. But you guys can choose. And then after that, we have somebody who I do not know who that is, so I'm going to have to probably come back to that. It's Lily James. Lily James, the British actress in Baby Driver. So we have another link with Baby Driver here. And I didn't like her accent in Baby Driver. I thought it was really weak American accent. But I've seen her in other things since, and she's been really good. So I'm happy if she got the role, I think she'd be wonderful as well. And then this is Maya Hawke again. So guys, is there more? Yeah, there's more, I think. Yes, there is. Rachel McAdam, the Canadian actress, was in Mean Girls alongside Lindsay Lohan. Do you think she'd be good in the Jean Grey role? She was also in True Detective 2, Part 2, Season 2. We have, I'm not even going to bother saying her name, Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse Ronan. Yeah, great actress, wonderful actress. Probably a bit too young to play Jean Grey. She looks too young anyway. And then we have the Australian actress who looks just like Margot Robbie. Her name is Samara Weaving. She's in Ready or Not, a horror film, brilliant horror film. And she needs her big break because I thought that was going to be it. I thought Ready or Not was going to be the big break, but it wasn't. And then we have Zoe Kravitz. And again, Zoe Kravitz, but she's not available for this film. She's already busy doing other things. So guys, I've just waffled on for about 10 minutes. What we thinking? We have Rooney Mara. Rooney Mara. And yes, guys, please subscribe if you're here. Would love that. Please hit the like button. Would love that too. Rooney Mara, Jean Grey. What are we thinking? I think Vitaphone, this is your best shout so far. Chris Stuckman is on bus level 2. Joe Blow level 2. Level 1. Joe Blow level 2. Agreed with that. I don't actually watch Chris Stuckman, but I do watch Joe Blow, as you know. Nolan would make a great MCU. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Emily Blunt. I picked Blunt. And Aquaman director. Maybe. Emily again. I think Emily's going to win this one, isn't she? I think Emily's going to win this one. Dunce is disqualified. Okay, she's gone. She's gone. Isla Fisher, Australian actress who is married to Sacha Baron Cohen. I'm thinking it's going to be Emily Blunt. Anna de Armas. Oh, you're right. Who said that? Yes, Spoongut. Yes, Spoongut. You're right. She can't be in this film. Ronan shouldn't be on this list. Why not, Sagnik? Come on. Charlize Theron. She's already in the MCU. She appeared at the end of Doctor Strange 2 for like a brief second in the cameo, as a cameo. So she's already in the MCU. Lily James is a really underrated actress. My vote goes to her. Right now, Emily Blunt looks like she's winning, though. Looks like she's winning. Yep, she is indeed. Cool. Lovely. Now, that was pretty easy. So I'm going to just put Emily Blunt. So I don't think we need to debate that. Emily Blunt. I think she'd be my shout as well. I would love Lindsay Lohan, though. That'd be so cool. What a comeback. Come on, guys. Don't you believe in magic? Right. Now, this is the big one before the big one. This is the big one before one other big one before the big one. Professor X. Professor X. Emma Stone. I'll put her in there, but just so there's a bit of competition there. Right. This is Professor X time. Now, we've got The Rock. Now, hear me out. He looks... his head looks like the role. Now, if he just stopped taking steroids and eating 20 burgers, as he claims he does, and pizzas and stuff, he would probably slim down. So he's a choice. And, well, he probably can't do a British accent, but, you know, everyone needs a chance in life, guys. And I think The Rock hasn't been given a fair chance. So why not? Next up is Stanley Tucci, who is a wonderful American actor and has appeared in many things. In fact, he's appeared with Anne Hathaway in The Devil Wears Prada and many other films as well. Wonderful character actor. And he's not really had that leading actor choice or selection yet. So this could be the one. He can do accents, so why not? Ralph Fiennes, refined British actor. I don't believe he's won an Oscar. Fact check me on that. But it doesn't matter. This is X-Men. You don't need an Oscar. Patrick Stewart hasn't got an Oscar. Why not? He can do the accent. And then we have Mark Strong, the wonderful Mark Strong, who looks the role. He looks a bit too aggressive to play Professor X, if I'm being honest with you. So he wouldn't be my choice. And then we have James McAvoy, who already has played the wonderful Professor X. So why not just keep using him? He was really good. And then we have Giancarlo Esposito again, who, I've not seen him be a good guy in a while. Why not? Why not? And then Denzel Washington. Definitely can't do a British accent, I don't think. But doesn't need to. He's Denzel Washington, for F's sake. So, guys, what are we thinking about these guys? What are we thinking? Who are we thinking? What are we thinking? The Rock is too much of a control. So Feige wouldn't. Feige's not in control now. I'm in control. I am in control. Fig is gone. Fig is gone. Stanley Tucci, I voted already. His aura would be unavoidable. Love that. Giancarlo is Professor X and Ralph Fiennes. Ooh, Fiennes. Ralph will be a strong contender. I already said that. Ben Kingsley, you did say that, and I said to you that is a wonderful choice, and he's going to go on my little list I'm making over here before we go over to the tier list. And then be careful who you snub, or else you're going to end up... Yeah, you're going to get horses' heads in your bed, guys. Ross Kemp. This is definitely a British viewer. William Roman Hilditch. Well, first of all, your name's very British, but on top of that, Ross Kemp. No one in here is going to know who Ross Kemp is, and it's such a rogue choice. So, guys, what are we doing? Because we're getting so close to the two favorite characters in the whole of the MCU. Well, maybe not the two favorite, one of the favorite characters in the whole of the MCU. So I want to move straight on to that. It's in the second one on the bottom, the villain from The Mandalorian. He is Giancarlo Esposito. He's famously known in Breaking Bad. That is his thing. What about Bryan Cranston? He's a little bit too gruff. I'm the one who knocks. You're damn right. He's got that. He's got too much of that. It's like, I'm acting. Professor X isn't like that. Professor X is very, it's much like this. It's a far different cadence. So I think Bryan Cranston couldn't do that. Mark Strong is Stanley without glasses. Marlon Brando. Ooh. I don't know. That's a difficult choice to make. I don't think you can do the British accent. I don't know. I don't think he can do the British accent. And he's a problem. The last time we hired him for Superman. He charged us $10 million for 5 minutes of screen time. And I won't be having that happen again. So unfortunately not. Strong can play. Then I think you should be Professor X. You know what? Why not? Why not? I'm a studio exec, but why can't I put myself in the film? The Rock would be a better villain than hero. You don't know that. You don't know that. You lie. Okay, I think that you guys haven't chosen. So I think I'm going to have to be the studio exec, and I'm going to keep James McAvoy. So I've put Ben Kingsley, James McAvoy, and I'm going to put Ralph Fiennes as well for the bants of it, and move on. Right. This is Cyclops. That is the name. That's actually, ironically, that's the name of this film. This is Cyclops. So, guys, what are we thinking about these choices? De Niro is a born Professor X. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think I want the role. So, yeah, I don't think De Niro would want the role. I don't think he'd be very good as Professor X. He didn't really, did he? He didn't really. He just turned up on set, mumbled his lines, and then went home. That's not Professor X. Professor X is a very well-articulated man. Thank you very much. Marcus for Professor X. Bruce Willis. Again, he just can't do it, can he? Just can't do it. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. He can't do it. Mark Strong is a great shout. Vita. He's a little bit too gruff, guys. I don't know. Armie Hammer would be brilliant somewhere, but not in this film. Maybe in his current job where he sells insurance. If that's a fact, by the way, he currently sells insurance. That's not a lie. He's done. So this is, never forget this kid's name. He's in Baby Driver as well. So we've got the Baby Driver connection going on. If we want to cast Lily James, this wonderful guy whose name I'm trying to find on my list here would be a option. His name is something. His name is something. I might. Anyone know who this guy is? He's the main guy in Baby Driver, but I'll talk about him for a bit. Aaron Ansel Elgort. What a stupid name. Definitely change that name. Ansel Elgort. Right. He was in, I believe, the Subvergence, Divergence films. That might be wrong. I think he is. He's also in Baby Driver. He's also in West Side Story. He's also in the TV show called Tokyo something. He's a bit young. Next up is Alexander Skarsgård, the powerful Alexander Skarsgård. 6'5", I think. Very tall, very lean, good actor. He can play multiple different characters and would be a good shout. Then we have Chris Pine, who's not been in the MCU. And remember, we can always go back in time with these actors, guys. So we're not talking about Chris Pine now. We're talking about Chris Pine from maybe 10 years ago. He'd be a good shout. Wonderful shout. Very versatile. He's been in Star Trek. He's been in a number of different things. I think he'd be really good. This is one of my favorites. This is Dylan O'Brien. If you don't know who Dylan O'Brien is, I think he was in the Teen Wolf TV series. He's also in this really good, and maybe you guys can help me out here, this really good, I think it's called Monster something. What's it called? But anyway, it's such a good film. Came out during COVID. And he is brilliant in it. I think he's a really, really promising upcoming actor. He was in the Maze Runner series as well. So he's got that. He's got form. Love and Monsters. That's it. Amazing film. Well, not amazing. A good film. Glenn Powell, guys. You love your Glenn Powell. And here he is. I think he would be get rid of this disgusting little beard. He would be a fantastic choice for Cyclops. Fantastic. But I think this guy would be even better. Australian actor, whose name I need to find here, because Jacob Elordi. Jacob Elordi. You know him from Euphoria, from the film that came out last year, Saltburn. He is a promising young actor, and he looks like Cyclops. This next to him is Matthew Fox. Now, you must know Matthew Fox. If you don't know who Matthew Fox is, then you don't know about Party of Five. You don't know about Lost. And you don't know about this guy's track record. It's not good. But he's a really good actor. He's very emotive. So when you look at him, you feel sorry for him. That reminds me of Cyclops. And he's tall. He's lean. He could do the role. Michael B. Jordan isn't technically in the MCU. Yes, he is. He's technically in the MCU. I just thought he's actually in Black Panther, so he can't be in this. This is Rene Jean Page, or Page John Rene, or Page Rene Page, whatever. He was in Bridgerton. He was also in a film that I saw with Ryan Gosling and Ana de Armas. He plays the bad guy in that film. And sure, whatever. And this is the brother of Stephen Amell, who plays the Arrow. This is Robbie Amell. He's not brother, he's cousin. And yeah, why not? Why not? Well, he looks the part. This is Sam Chaffin, who was in the those crappy films with Jennifer Lawrence. So yeah, that's who this is. I don't know much about him apart from that. And then we have Tom Cruise. Tom Manteuffel Cruise. The wonderful Tom Cruise. So guys, what are we thinking about these guys before we jump onto our tier list? Henry Cavill would be an amazing Cyclops. I don't know. Cruise has the look. Cruise has the look. He can play the Boy Scout, the cockiness, the eyes. See what I close eyes. See what I did there. Yeah. The dude in Monster Film was so good. He was so good. Andrew Garfield. He's already in the MCU. Chris Pine would make a good Professor X. He actually would. That's a very good shout. Agree with that. Henry Cavill would be amazing Cyclops. Heath Ledger as Cyclops. Maybe as Cohen. Don't you think better as Wolverine? Jeremy Strong, Professor. Oh, another good shout. Josh Hutcherson as Cyclops. Nah. I like Taron Egerton. He's on the list. He's coming up next. Don't you worry about your Taron Egerton. Loving Tom Cruise for this. Right, Tom Cruise it is. Tom Cruise. Anyone else, guys? I personally think you're missing the trick here. I think Glenn Powell would be quite the choice. And Jacob Elordi would be a good choice as well. But guys, who else? Charlie Hunnam needs to shave that beard for me. Chris Pine. Okay, but Spoon, you're the only person that said Chris Pine. So if anyone says Chris Pine, then I will put him on the list. If no one else says it, I will not put Chris Pine on the list. So guys, talk to me. Anyone else? Because I've only got Cruise on there right now. So if anyone else has any more shouts, let me know and they will go on there. He's tall. Yeah, Cyclops is tall though. Cyclops is the tallest person in the X-Men. And he looks the part. Not Tom Cruise. Jacob. I'm going to put Jacob on the list. Right. Next up is the one you guys are here for. The one everyone's here for. Wolverine. As you can see, there's duplicates here, but don't worry about that. Let's go through this. So, guys, am I missing anyone, first of all, as Wolverine? Have a little look. Ignore this. In fact, completely ignore this. Let me get rid of that. We've got these individuals here. Am I missing anyone? I think I am missing people. I think I could easily put onto this list, as I think Vitaphone said it, or someone said it, Clint Eastwood, Walter Goggins, John Hamm, Jack Nicholson, Viggo Mortensen. I think he's already on the list. And Scott Kahn, I'm missing. But anyone else? Yeah. A young Danny DeVito. I can see that. That's a good shout. Anyone else? Okay, let me talk about these people. We have got Charlie Hunnam. Hunman. He is unfortunately the lead actor in the flop of the film King Arthur, which counts against him spectacularly, I'm afraid. But he looks the part. Next up is Daniel Radcliffe, who is very short. So I think in terms of, we're going to cast this properly, he's a good shout. I know a lot of you guys don't particularly like him, but I think he'd be a good shout. And then we have the actor Frank Grillo, who was already in the MCU, so we can't use him, but he'd be a good person to play this role. Then we have Henry Cavill, who you guys have been talking about all evening. Henry Cavill. If you look here, this is a person who looks exactly like Wolverine, and his name is Joaquin Phoenix. And this is his performance in the Paul Thomas Anderson film of name I cannot remember. This is the blah, blah, blah. He was in the MCU. Sorry, he's in DCEU. His name is blah, blah, blah. His name is something. I'll remember it in a minute. And we'll come back to him because he looks the part. This is John Bernthal, who is in The Walking Dead. He plays Daredevil, so technically he's not part of the MCU, although technically now Daredevil's coming back and he's going to be in that, so maybe he already is in the MCU, but you guys maybe don't even like him, so what's the point in debating about him? Keanu Reeves, why not? He can't do the voice, he can't do the character, but why not? He looks the part. Kurt Russell, when he was younger, definitely looks the part. And this is Mel Gibson, who, again, when he was younger, definitely, or even now, if you look at this picture here, he looks a bit like Wolverine. This is Scott Eastwood, who is Clint Eastwood's son and was really good in the Guy Ritchie film of, again, name I can't remember, but he's very good in that film. Taron Egerton, he has got the height, he's got the look, he's maybe a bit too young looking, but very good actor and can definitely play the role. And then we have Tom Hardy, who is quite short. You think he's quite tall, he's quite short, and he's definitely he definitely comes across as aggressive. So, guys, what are we thinking? What are we thinking? Hardy for Wolverine, period. End of story. Stephen Lang. Yeah, Stephen Lang. It's not a bad shout. Luke Evans. Yes. Yes, brutal bad boy. Sam Worthington. Yep. Inherent Vice is the name of the film. Thank you very much. Inherent Vice, thank you very much. Punisher, yeah, he is, but can we still use him? Henry is too heroic for Wolverine. Yeah, but he was in Mission Impossible, and he played a villain in that. And he was pretty damn good. So, just saying, Mel Gibson, honestly, nah, man, no one is close to Tom Hardy. Yeah, maybe. Mel Gibson is put. Yes, bring it on. They've been saying this for years. Mel Gibson, Zac Efron. So Zac Efron is who? The speculation now. Do you think he should be Wolverine? Maybe because he looks like him now. He's got the massive jaw. Shia LaBeouf. If you're making a Days of Future Past adaptation, Kurt Russell has to be Kate. Ooh, I like that. Kurt Russell is doing Clint Eastwood in. Yep. Yeah. Okay. He's on the list. Don't worry, Vitaphone. He's on the list. Daniel Radcliffe has to play Wolverine, man. The fans will be so happy. As a studio executive, which is what I am tonight, Daniel Radcliffe will get the Harry Potter bums on seats. I'm just saying. But so will Clint Eastwood in his prime. Jacob Elordi for Gambit. He's a bit too smooth. He's more of a Cyclops for me. Luke Evans is a very good shout. Mel Gibson as a new, Mel Gibson's Milo Gibson or Mel Gibson, Rebellious Monkey 98. Zac Efron would be Wolverine. And yeah, Rebellious Monkey, I think so too. He's actually on the list. He's on the short list. Can we get Peter Jackson to play the Beast? Dear. Damn. You lot are savage, man. Just no need for that. One of the great actors, one of the great directors of that age, not ever, of that age, and you just did him dirty like that. Unbelievable. Milo Gibson is Mel Gibson's son. Is that a fact? What's he in? Is he in? Does he act? Never heard of him. Okay, cool. So what are we doing here, guys? Are we going with Tom Hardy and maybe Mel Gibson? Put a yes or no. No, just put yes. Mel Gibson and Tom Hardy. What are we doing? Talk to me. What are we doing? I need your assistance here. Keke Palmer as Rogue. Keke Palmer was on the list as Rogue, I believe, but she didn't get selected. Yes or no in the old chat, guys. Tom Hardy and Mel Gibson. John Cena. I hate John Cena. And I'm the studio exec, so he's not been in my film. I don't hate him as a person, don't know him as a person, but as an actor, he's lousy. So Tom Hardy and Mel Gibson. Seems like we are going with that. Sean Connery for Wolverine. What are we thinking about that, guys? Sean Connery for Wolverine. Hardy for me. Maud Apatow as Rogue. She, if I'm correct, she's in that awful film, that awful comedy directed by her dad, which came out on Netflix. And if that's the same person, I don't want her. I don't want that box office bomb going anywhere near my X-Men film. Thank you very much. No, exactly. Blah, blah, blah. Right. So I think we have got enough juice here for a tier list. In the meantime, guys, I want you guys to tell me this. Talk to me. What is your favorite X-Men film? Because this film that we're going to make is going to be better than any X-Men film. And to do that, we need to find out which X-Men film was better before this film came out. We need to contrast and compare and work out what worked really well in the good one and what's going to work well in our one. So I need your guys' help. Which X-Men film was the best X-Men film? Talk to me. So we've got First Class. So Kerwin, when I first saw First Class, I was like, this is brilliant. I really enjoyed it because it kind of revamped the whole X-Men franchise after the wonderful director, what's his name? Anyway, X-Men 3, that terrible film, after he tanked it. I'm Juggernaut, bitch. After he tanked the tanked that trilogy, we needed something to refresh the whole trilogy. So when I first saw it, I was like, this is fantastic. Watching it again, I was like, this is not fantastic. This is actually terrible. And, you know, to show my disgust for that film, I can only do this.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
So, yeah, not for me, not for me. And I'm the studio exec today, so my say's final. Days of Future Past, definitely 100% the best X-Men film. 100%. 100% the best X-Men film. Not even close. Not even close. Anyone else? Any other takers? Any other takers? Logan 2017 is the best one, no question. It's good. It's definitely good. It's definitely good. That's the one. Brett Ratner. The man is finished. Brett Ratner is finished. And what else we got here? Any other ones? Did you cast Phoenix? Well, Phoenix technically is Jean Grey, isn't she? So yes is the answer to that. X-Men films are dodgy. They all have great elements, but yet to... You know what? X-Men 2 is good. X-Men Days of Future Past is good as well. It's bordering on great, I would say. So, I mean, just think about the wonderful scene when the guy who can run really fast, whose name I can't remember, you know, the bullet scene, and he's running around the kitchen, and it's really good. But that's just one part of a really good film as well. Any other takers? X-Men 2 had loads of good things going for it, but what is D-O? Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past. Thanks for your time. Taking another. Lovely. Quicksilver. That's the one. Quicksilver. And that is why Aaron Taylor Johnson can't be in this film, because he played a version of Quicksilver in the MCU already. Okay. Cool. I think it's time for that tier list. Logan. Okay, so let me talk about Logan. Logan's good. It's good, but it's trying so hard. It's really trying so hard. And no one likes to try hard, do they, guys? Right, tier list. So this is how we're going to do this. We are going to... There we go. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, cool. We are going to oh, this is not the right tier list. It's not the right one, is it? Should probably get rid of that. Yeah, so we're going to basically duke it out with the people that you guys chose. We're going to duke it out with those individuals. So right now, we can automatically put... Let me have a look here. We can automatically put Tim and Austin on the Gambit list, which are these two guys. And now we're gonna argue this one out. We need a choice. First of all, we need a director. So I'm gonna have a quick look at the poll. And right now it's still drawing between Nolan and Evan. So guys, I need you to jump over. If you go to the top of the chat, you can see there's a link for a poll. The poll is going to decide the director for our film. And right now, Christopher Nolan and Gareth Evans are tolling. Edgar Wright has 0 votes. Jordan Peele has 14%. Christopher Nolan has 42%. And so does Gareth Evans. So jump into that poll, put your vote in, and then we can decide who the director is. But we are now going to choose who Gambit will be. And should we argue this out again? So we've got Austin Butler. So let me come at this from a studio point of view, and then you guys can rebuttal when I've finished. So Austin Butler is hot shit right now. Elvis, Dune 2, the guy who was in a Tarantino film. He is pushing weight right now. He is doing business. He's doing the business. So for me, it's kind of an easy choice. He looks the part. He can do the accent because he kind of did the accent in Elvis. I mean, he didn't really do the accent in Elvis, but you know what I mean? He can do accents. Timothy Oliphant is also a wonderful actor. In his younger days, definitely could have played Gambit and can do the accent because he plays a Southern character in Justified. So he can do the accent as well, guys. So what are we saying? What are we saying about these two wonderful actors? Who's going to do what? Who's going to do what? Austin Butler is perfect for Gambit. Morning Star, thank you very much, first of all. Nice to have you in here. And I love your choice. Timothy has Gambit for me. Okay. Love that spoon. Anyone else? Anyone else? Butler has the hot hand and he is relevant. Totally. Totally. Austin Butler is great for Gambit. Totally agree again. Marvel will probably get a new Quicksilver and it will be in the universe, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah. So speculation now. I'm not sure if they're going to get as far as Quicksilver. I think it's going to fail, but not if we're in charge. Butler all the way. This is a pretty easy one, guys. Big love for Timmy Funt. I don't know, Vitaphone. He's got the charisma. If you see him on chat shows, the guy's got plenty of charisma. If you see him in Justified as well, he's got loads of charisma. So he's definitely got the charisma, but I think Butler's got that Hollywood charm right now. And as I say it again, Timothy Oliphant has done many Hollywood films, including The Hitman, if you remember that abomination of a film, and he's failed. So do we want to put him in our multi-billion-dollar franchise? Do we want to do that? No, we don't. Sam Rockwell, you're too late, Sagnick. That's a good show. That's a great show. Jason David Frank. Jason David Frank is the guy from Power Rangers. Am I right? Big love to him. He did unfortunately pass away a couple of years back. Timmy was great and Injustified, not unjustified, but I get what you mean. There you go. Between the two, I would say Butler's. Yeah. He had the small. I see what you mean. Vitaphone. I kind of agree with that. Okay, cool. So we're doing it. We are putting him there. We're putting him there. Additionally, we are going to look at the poll again. If you guys have voted and see if we have any clear winners, who's going to be our director. Because I feel that's going to dictate our whole film, guys. That's going to dictate our whole film. If we don't know who our director is, how are we going to make this film? Let's sort that out. And also, if you just joined the chat, please do, or the stream, please do hit the like button. We are celebrating 12,000 subscribers today, which is a huge achievement. And thanks to you guys, it's possible. So thank you yet again. Right. Let's move on. I'm still going to wait for a few more votes on the director. So we're going to move on to the next person. And the next person is Magneto. So we narrowed this down previously to just two people. We narrowed it down to Pierce Brosnan and Jeremy Irons, which means that you guys are giving me some work to do because now I have to go and get Pierce Brosnan's picture. But as I'm doing that, has anyone seen Furioso? Anyone who's just joined the chat seen Furioso? Because I want to hear some thoughts, especially as it's flopping at the box office. So it's very strange that typically when a film does well at the box office, it's because the word of mouth is good. This film has good word of mouth, but it's still flopping. And that is quite alarming if you are a studio exec like myself. So anyone seen it? Anyone seen it? Anyone got any thoughts? Whilst I do some magic over here. And if you've seen it, what do you think? Give it a mark out of 10. I gave it a 6. What are you guys giving it? Hit me up with your thoughts. Go on. We're all friends here. We can say shit. Watched it yesterday. Okay, so Spoon, what do you think about it? You want me to Google? No, Vitaphone, that's cheating. I can't do that. That's not allowed. Because then everyone will pick. Everyone's going to pick their everyone's going to pick him, aren't they? So we don't want that. That's cheating. I thought it was good, but I understand why it's bombing. Oh dear. I want to watch it. It's okay. It's okay. Yes, loved it. Okay. Why did you love it? Let me know. What X-Men superhero do you want to be the lead? Because I think Wolverine is too much used, especially in the live action for Fox. I don't think there's any way of changing it, really. I think Wolverine's just the most popular character, and I'm not too sure why that is, but he is. And I think after that, probably because of what's happened recently with the films, maybe Jennifer Lawrence's character might be the favorite. I don't know. 3.5 out of 10 or out of 5. I give it a 7. Yeah, I mean, my 6 is typically an 8. An 8. So tell me, Mr. MK, if you give Furiosa an 8, I love when people do this. So this is one of my pet peeves. I'm not having a go at you, by the way. I'm just saying this is one of my pet peeves. Not related to you. Kind of related to you, but not related to you. Is when people give films, like they'll say, Logan is a 10 or Logan is a 9. And then I go, okay, so what is The Godfather? What is Shawshank Redemption? If Logan's a 9, what is Shawshank Redemption? What is The Godfather? What is Schindler's List? So I think you guys give out marks to willy-nilly, as we say in the UK. Fury Road is one of my all-time favorites. Wow. Morning Star. That's a big old statement. Why? 3.5 out of what, Vita Van? Yeah, that's what I want to know as well. Speculation. I did not watch that film because it's not out in the UK. And if it is out in the UK, I still wouldn't have watched it. So I have no opinion on Garfield. But I do like Chris Pratt. Honestly, Cyclops would be the main focus. Cyclops is just not an interesting character. So, for example, I take it back to the Turtles, the Ninja Turtles. Leonardo is an incredible character, but he's not a good leading character because he's just too straight-laced. And that's the reason why in Transformers, Optimus Prime isn't really the main character because he's too straight-laced and he wouldn't make mistakes. And if a character doesn't make mistakes, you haven't really got much of a film. He's normally the one fixing things and giving advice and stuff. So Cyclops wouldn't be... Sagnick, what do you mean? In relation to what? Who am I trolling? What do you mean? Yeah. So yeah, I don't think Cyclops will be good. Jay, let us know when that review's out because I want to watch your review. Wolverine, the film main man. No, yeah, Wolverine's just popular. You know, he's always been popular because everyone loves a character like that. They're just kind of, I don't care about anything. That kind of character. Everyone loves characters like that. The kind of nihilist attitude to stuff. Let me say this: I'm a low scorer, but there are different types of 6, 7. Ooh, Cohen, talk to me. I need more. In fact, you know what? If you're brave enough, I'll get you on to talk about that quickly and then take you off. Let me know if you want to come on. I can create a little thing for you. You can come on and explain yourself because I'm quite curious to go into that a bit more. Speaking of which, Chris Hemsworth. Okay. I actually thought Chris Hemsworth was good, but I think he hammed it up so much. My God, he was hamming it up so much. He was going over the top. And I said this in my review, like he's got this fake nose and the fake hair and the fake, like it's too much. It's way too much. He was an interesting character, but I really liked Furiosa as a girl. That was really the best part of the film for me. When are we writing the screenplay? The screenplay's written. It's down here under my desk. The screenplay's right here. It's written by a famous Hollywood actor, Rear Gaming. A famous Hollywood not an actor, famous Hollywood writer. 3.5 out of 5. I would love to come on. Unfortunately, I'm unable to under the blankets. You can still come on under the blankets. You can turn your camera off if you want. I want to hear your explanation because I think that's really a really interesting conversation to have. You trolled. No, it's a segment. I wasn't trolling anyone. So, guys, I completely respect your marks. If you gave a film 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, whatever, that's your mark for the film. My mark for the film is a 6. It doesn't matter, does it? I mean, ultimately, none of us are right or wrong. But I can't see how a film like Furiosa, which hasn't stood the test of time, can be an 8 or a 9 or a 10 when you've got films that have stood the test of time that are 10s, you know. So, you know, maybe next time we'll talk about that. I think it's a pretty interesting subject. So maybe if we can bang through this list quickly, we can move on to this subject because I think it's a really interesting subject. So let me quickly put Jeremy Irons and Pierce Brosnan over here. And then let me quickly argue their cases and we'll move on. Jeremy Irons, Pierce Brosnan. I think you guys really wanted Pierce Brosnan, so I may just make a decision as a studio exec myself. But to argue for Jeremy Irons, he's a better actor. He's a way better actor. He's not even a little bit better actor. He's a way better actor than Pierce Brosnan. So I myself would prefer to have Jeremy Irons in the role. But if you guys don't think so, you let me know. Talk to me. Let me know. Let me know. I'm up for ideas. Come on. Hit me with the ideas. I don't mind ideas. I'm an ideas kind of guy myself. I don't mind ideas. Hit me with the ideas. Pierce Brosnan. Chris is getting payback for checking. I feel like Sam Raimi. I actually was going to put Brad Bird on the list. I think he hasn't been given a fair crack at the whip. I love his Mission Impossible film. Both actors are going to put on some meat. Kerwin, I can see why you're underneath your covers now. Come on. Rear Gaming. Aaron Sorkin maybe wrote it. He maybe didn't write it. Who knows? Who knows who wrote it? Well, I do. But you don't know. That's for me to know and for you to find out. And you're going to find out at the end. Irons is a hands down better actor, but I think Brosnan is the only one. Okay. Ooh, but MK is going for Irons. Jeremy, ooh. He has got that voice. The voice of cadence. He has got that wonderful acting voice, hasn't he? Vitaphone. It's looking like it's gonna be Jeremy Irons. Ooh, I actually thought Pierce Brosnan, and I know what you're saying. If I use the Pierce Brosnan picture, let me Google it anyway. Then probably he would have won. Let me Google the picture, and whilst I'm Googling the picture, I mean Vitaphone. He was so close, but yet so far. And you know what? Sometimes in life, things just don't make sense.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Sometimes in life, things just don't make sense, as witnessed by that wonderful scene from one of the best films ever made by a director who is now cancelled, Bryan Singer. So talented. So talented. But yeah, I've Googled it, by the way, Vitaphone. He does look like Magneto. I would get it up on the screen, but I don't want to. So I might do that in a bit. I want to bash through this tier list. So next up is Storm. Storm. Who did we choose for Storm? We chose Thandie Newton and Naomi Harris. So let's get those two into the arena and let's dukes it out, because I really want to have that discussion about, can any film be a 10? I really want to move on to that. I think that could be quite an epic conversation, guys. Right. Naomi Harris and Thandie Newton. There they are. Let's put them up here. So. What can we say about these two wonderful individuals? Can you do a stream of how Generation Z is watching streaming services and television less than other generations due to the YouTube and video games? I can do that, speculation. Huh? I can do that. I love your questions as well. Keep them coming. Jeremy Irons is Magneto. That would be pretty good. And Carmen Oh, I've heard that name, Kevin. Who is that? All right, Storm. I think Thandie Newton would be wonderful here, but I also think Naomi Harris would be wonderful here. So what you guys thinking? Oh, Carmen, I know who she is. She was in Selma. She was in Selma. I think she played Coretta Scott. Let me know if I'm wrong or right. What are we thinking, guys? Thandie or yes, MK? That would be good. That would be a good shout. I mean, they're not on the list, but I guess we can overrule the list. We can overrule the poll. The poll is now, Edgar Wright has now got a vote. Jordan Peele is, so Edgar Wright and Jordan Peele are tied, and Christopher Nolan and Gareth Evans are tied, but we can come to that in a bit. Storm can... I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, and I don't think I want to know what that means. Wow. Angela Bassett was rumored to be the original choice for Storm, even though, yeah, she was on the original list that we had, but she didn't make it through, unfortunately, Morningstar. Because she's already in the MCU. She's already in Black Panther, so she can't be in this one. Couldn't care less about either. Okay. All right. As a studio executive, I'm going to make an executive decision, just like Kurt Russell did in the film Executive Decision. Anyone seen that? It's got Steven Seagal as well. Really good film. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but something really massive happens in the first 10 minutes or so. Right. So it's a tough one. I'm going to go with Thandie Newton. There we go. Rouge. Next up is Rouge. And Rogue and Rouge, we said Parker Posey. So we chose people that weren't even on the list, which makes my life a whole lot harder. Parker Posey, Mia Goth, and Anne Hathaway. Oh, God, you guys. Oh, my God. Oh, dear. Yeah, you guys have made my life a lot harder. I can't bother to go and download Parker Posey and Mia Goth and Anne Hathaway. So I'm going to just put Anne Hathaway there. I know that's not what we agreed. I understand that. But honestly, I think she'd be a good Rogue. So there you go. She's Rogue. Jean Grey. If anyone wants to debate Parker Posey, Mia Goth, Anne Hathaway, let me know in the comments, or forever hold your peace, or we're moving on to Jean Grey. So I'm going to give you the time of this meme to let me know.
Have you ever walked out of a mall into a huge parking area and realized you'd forgotten where you parked your car?
Ever gone mountain biking?
What do you want to be when you grow up? What's the right tip?
Have you called a plumber to your home lately? How superstitious are you?
How much money would it take to make you spend a night in a cemetery? Would you display this as a trophy?
So anyone? Any takers? Any takers? Come on, who's taking this? No? Anyone? No? Great. Moving on to Jean Grey. Sherlock Khan would be an excellent Professor X. That would be a hell of a change of backstory. That would be a hell of a change. Mia Goth would be my choice. Ooh, I love Parker Posey, but she's just not right for Rogue. Anyone else on Mia Goth? Because I, this is about you guys. Not really, it's about me. But you guys are here to convince me. So if you convince me that Mia Goth is better than Anne Hathaway here, then I will gladly make that decision. Would you ever create your own studio due to the fact that you can have more freedom? You know what? The speculation are, I would create my own studio. I have got my own studio. It's called London New Wave, and we've made 6 feature films, and we're doing pretty well, but we don't have millions upon millions of pounds, so we can't make anything huge. Gina Carano. Hello, Remen. I think this is the first time you've been in here, Remen. It's good to have you on board. If you've not hit the subscribe button, Remen, no pressure, but if you did that, that would be wonderful. I'd really love that. Mia, you guys want Mia Goth? You're making my life harder. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Why? Why? Now I have to go and bloody download Mia Goth's picture, upload it into the folder, and then put it as the choice for Rogue. That doesn't make me happy. That makes me sad. Guys, why? Why have you done this to me? You've ruined my day. I had 12,000 subscribers today. You've gone and ruined my day. Everyone's saying Mia Goth. Rooney Mara didn't come up before, but I'm happy to argue her case. You can call me Ray. Hello, Ray. 16 likes. What? 16 likes? Guys, come on. Come on. What's that? What you think this stream's worth 16 likes? I just downloaded a picture of Mia Goth for you guys, and I got 16 likes. Come on. That can't be the case. That just can't be the case. Come on, guys. Hit the like button. What's going on? Come on. Got me out here bloody downloading Mia Goth pictures with 16 likes. You guys don't deserve Mia Goth. You don't deserve her. What we doing here? Hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. Otherwise, Cage will put you in a cage. He will. He will. He will literally put you in a cage. A cage of acting prowess. Right. Let's get Mia Goth up, and then we're going to do Jean Grey. There she is. She is now Rouge. Anne Hathaway, you sit down here. Jean Grey. Jean Grey, we said, was Emily Blunt or Emma Stone. I want Emily Blunt to play this role. If you guys think that Emily Blunt shouldn't play the role, then let me know. If you think Emma Stone should play the role, let me know. Or someone suggested Rooney Mara. What do you think? Rooney Mara? That's a wild shout, but I'm happy to go with it. If you guys think that she would be good, I'm happy to go with that. So what are you thinking, guys? What are we thinking? Emily, Emma, or else how? What are we thinking? There she is. It's Emma Stone. I don't know where Emily Blunt's gone, so I'm going to have to find her picture and download it. But guys, I think Emily Blunt would be fantastic. I actually think Rooney Mara would be just incredible. So I'm kind of changing my mind here. Talk to me. What do you guys think as I download more pointless pictures so I can make this tier list into something spectacular? Yeah, so guys, what are we thinking? What are we thinking? She's not really my type, but if she was and I was downloading them, then yeah, it'd be a bit dodgy. Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt is a yes. Emily Blunt, Mara is leagues better. I don't think she's leagues better than Emily. I forgot her name. Emily Blunt. I don't think she's leagues better. I think that's a bit harsh. I think Emily Blunt's a fantastic actress. I do think Rooney Mara is a better actress. Blunt. Everyone's blunt. Everyone's blunt. I started my... Oh, you did. But she's not going to win, it seems. Anyone else? Blunt will give a very straightforward Blunt performance. That is true. She is a giver. Pause. She is a giver. I don't want Joaquin Phoenix turned up at my... right behind me here and strangling me out live on the stream. So I'm not going to insult his wife. What company do you think wouldn't be the same place merger? Speculation. I'm going to put that in that's one of my star chats, and I'll come back to that. But we think, guys, Rooney can still do it. Kate Mara is already... No, she's not already in the MCU. She was in Fantastic Four, and that's not part of the MCU. So Kate Mara is an option, but come on. If you have Rooney or Kate, if you had to go on a date with Rooney Mara or Kate Mara, who would you choose? Conversely, if you had to put one of these people in the film due to the acting prowess, who would you choose? I know who I would choose, and it wouldn't be Kate. Emily is Charmin Yao. She's Charmin Yao? Yeah, Rooney would... Ooh, so what are we saying, guys? Is this the Rooney revolution? Has she come from nowhere and stole the game like Mia Goth? Rooney. I'm going to take Emily out. No, I'm not. Put her in the wrong place. Emma Stone. Oh, I have to bloody download a Rooney Mara picture now. Oh, God damn it. You guys are so demanding. So damn demanding. Jeez.
You get your fucking hands off me.
That's how I feel right now, guys. That's what you're doing to me. You're killing me here. Just coming up with these random names. Rooney Mara. She's going to be so depressing in the film as well. So depressing. She never smiles. Like Amy Adams. Jeez. Right. So, Bootle Bad Boy. Why don't we just put Colleen instead? We put Colleen in there instead. I think we're sorted. She looks like the character. Mara disappeared. Yeah, she did. She's a good actress. I agree. I just don't want to download her picture. It just takes bloody ages. Well, it doesn't take ages. It takes a few seconds. But it's just, I had a plan, and you guys are ruining my plan. I had plans, and you guys are ruining my plans. Right. There she is. Lovely jubbly. Rooney Mara. There you go. Emily Blunt. There you go. Emma Stone. You're gone. Professor X. Thank God. Right. Next up is Ben. I haven't downloaded Ben Kingsley's picture. Oh, God damn it. All right. So we got James McAvoy, who I chose because you guys weren't really choosing anyone. And then we got Ben Kingsley, and we have one more person. Who do we have? We have Ralph Fiennes. And I think we can definitely get to a conclusion of this one much quicker than the last one. As soon as I can find the folder. There we go. So guys, James McAvoy, Ralph Fiennes, or Ben Kingsley, which means I need to download more pictures. There we go. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? She's not my type as well. I'm so sorry, Ray Gaming. I haven't got any pictures of Rooney Mara. Come on. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Jeremy Strong or Ralph Fiennes? Jeremy Strong. The problem with Jeremy Strong is he is a method actor to the core, to the point where his fellow cast members on Succession were very worried that he was going to do some terrible things to himself. And I don't want that on my film. I've already got Rooney Mara now, Mia Goth, and this combination that's going to cause such trouble on set. And well, I might have Mel Gibson as well. I mean, come on. Give me a break here. So what are we doing? Yes, you can. And Gene Hackman would have been a wonderful choice. But here's the thing, Ray. Unfortunately, we've gone through the options already. So you came onto the stream too late. But we do these tier lists like every week. So next time I'm on, come in early at the beginning, and you can start from the beginning. You can help us choose the people that are going to be on the eventual tier list. Or just look at my community page sometimes. I do little polls and stuff, and you can choose the people for the tier list. Because let's face it, this is really fun. Right, Kingsley. McAvoy took Ben Kingsley. He didn't. He bloody didn't. It's definitely the other way around. House. Ooh, Ray. That's another great shout. Just imagine, guys. Just imagine Daniel Day-Lewis as Professor X. Oh, my. Okay, let's do this. Let's do Daniel Day-Lewis versus Ben Kingsley. What are we saying, guys? I just need... So, let's do that. Let's do Daniel Day-Lewis versus Ben Kingsley. What do you guys think? I'm happy to go with Daniel Day-Lewis and Ben Kingsley. What are we doing? DDD can play anything. He can, He can. I mean, when you say Daniel Day-Lewis, it just kind of just changes everything, doesn't it? He's the man. He is the man. And I've got a picture here of him looking slightly balding, and I think he can do it. However, some people just say that I could play... They said that I could actually play Professor X, and I'm getting a bit offended that you guys have not continued with that stream of thought, because I was low-key getting excited to play the character, and you guys are now ruining it for me. I was under the impression that I had the role, and now you guys are coming up with Daniel Day-Lewis. How am I going to compete with Daniel Day-Lewis? I mean, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? So, guys, I mean, do you think I could play the role, or maybe I don't know? Maybe I can audition for it. Maybe. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? Right. Daniel Day-Lewis is here. I am putting these guys down here because when you say Daniel Day-Lewis, it just kind of ends the argument, doesn't it? Just ends the argument. Cyclops is next. And Cyclops, we had Cruz and Jacob. And thank God they have already been downloaded. So this is going to be so easy. I'm thinking Tom Cruise, but if you guys think that Tom Cruise shouldn't be Cyclops, then let me know. What YouTuber inspired you to be a YouTuber? Ooh. It wasn't a specific YouTuber that inspired me to become a YouTuber, it's speculation. It was a combination of many different things, different people. There were people that actually have nothing to do with film. And I watch a lot of football channels and soccer channels if you're in America. And I don't know if Brutal Bad Boy knows about Kopish, but those guys are great over at Kopish. And, they kind of show people how hard it is to be a YouTuber by being so good at it. So they're very good on YouTube. And then there's so many other great people on YouTube. So many other great people whose names I can't remember. So Cruz. What are we doing? Are we doing Cruz? Are we doing Jacob? What are we doing? Yeah, so Ray, I would agree with that. I'm a big fan of Kevin, listen, look at me. Look at my suit. Yeah? Look at my face. Don't I look way better than Don Robbie? Come on, man. Compare me to Don Robbie. What the hell? Cruz could sleepwalk. Yeah, but he's a bit short. He is a bit short. Ooh, that's put a spanner in the works. Yeah, he's so short. Guys, what are we thinking about Thomas? I think he's too short, personally. I would go with Jacob. I would have gone with Glenn Powell. I think Glenn Powell would have been fantastic. But you guys didn't want Glenn Powell. So it's a bit 50-50 right now. A bit 50-50. I mean, we can put lift in his shoes. We can do that. What are we doing? Wolverine is basically a midget. No one cares that. Yeah, that is true. That's a good point, Vito. I do care about that, but many people don't care about that. If we're engineering this to be a hit, then Jacob. We are engineering this to be a hit. We don't want to fail again. The MCU is crumbling into the ground. Film after film after film. When was the last good MCU film? Was it Endgame? Maybe. Probably Infinity War, if we're being honest. I think Endgame was more nostalgic. So what is that? That's 2018. That's 6 years ago, the last good MCU film. We need to turn this into a hit. We've got the Hollywood writer's script down here underneath the table. I'm touching it now. Touching the script now. All we need is the cast. And we are sorted. And the director. So what are we doing? Henry Cavill is definitely suggested. And I believe he made it into... No, he didn't. I thought he made it onto the Wolverine list, but he didn't make it onto that. But we come back to that. Put a chick in it, make it gay. Infinity War was agreed. So what are we doing? We're doing Cruz. Okay, we're doing Cruz. So Jacob is the young, hot, ambitious, successful, great Australian actor, and you guys have rejected him for Tom Cruise, which leaves one more person, and his name is Wolverine. I know you guys love your Wolverine, and we chose Tom Hardy and Mel Gibson. If you think that Henry Cavill should be on this list, let me know, and I can stick him in. It's going to be quite easy. But this is the big one. Pause. Big pause there. This is the one that's going to change the game. Then we'll do director, and then we'll talk about fun stuff like why films can't be 10s. Which films are 10s? Start thinking, guys. I'm going to ask you after this. We're going to be done in about 5 minutes. I'm going to ask you guys what films are 10s. So get thinking. get thinking. That'll be the last thing on the agenda. What films are 10s? Get your thinking caps on. Right. What are we doing with this? What are we doing with this? Hardy. I'm not going to read that, but Rear Gaming. It's good to know. It's good to know. It's a forum. This is an open forum. We can say things in here. Tom Hardy, 100%. Danny DeVito still. We're still on Danny DeVito hype, are we? Eastwood. Ooh. Vitaphone. You always catch me out. You always catch me out. I thought I got away with it there. I have to download more pictures. I know Red Gaming's going to like that. Okay.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
That is Vitaphone. That is for you, Vitaphone. Yes, guys. Tom Hardy, Clint Eastwood, and some other person, some other geezer who I can't remember because I'm not looking at the stream. No films 10. So yeah, so Sagnick, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're going to come on to that in about 5 minutes. I think that could be quite a nice chat. What have I done there? I'm an idiot. That's your fault, Vitaphone. Let me add in Clint Eastwood, and then we are good to go, my people. My X-Men. My X-Men. Right. What are we doing? Who we choosing? Who we choosing? Snoop is talking about Vitaphone. That motherfucker don't miss. He don't miss. That is Vitaphone. Cruise and Mel Gibson. Are we doing X-Men or the Oh dear. Tom Cruise would not be seen dead in an Expendables film. He doesn't believe he's 60. He thinks he's 30 or something. All right, guys. So what are we doing? Luke Evans. Luke Evans didn't make it. He didn't make it. Clint Eastwood isn't my type, unfortunately. Just doesn't quite do it for me. But I can imagine the appeal to ladies or people of that persuasion. But unfortunately for me, he's not quite my type. I love Mel Gibson, but Mad Max is the primary reason discussion. Maybe. Hardy still. Still Hardy. I will need to read it. I will read it, don't worry. I have started it. Max is the man with no name. Vitaphone, I know you're really fighting for Clint here, but Tom Hardy seems to be winning this, not even with that at canter. Just seems to be winning it at canter. There we go. If anyone's got any objections to this, so this is it. This is our tier list before we move on to the director. Again, the vote for the director is on the chat, and right now everyone's tied. We got a tie for Edgar Wright, Jordan Peele, Christopher Nolan, and Gareth Evans. So that doesn't really help us. So maybe in the chat we can just talk about who the director should be. So we have got. Let's zoom in on this. This is my X-Men. We have got Wolverine, Tom Hardy. We've got Tom Cruise as Cyclops. We've got Professor X being played by Daniel Day-Lewis. Jean Grey is going to be Rooney Mara. Rogue is going to be Mia Goth. That's not a good choice. That is not a good choice. We've got Storm, Thandie Newton. We've got Magneto. Just imagine this. Just imagine Jeremy Irons up against Daniel Day-Lewis. Whoa. And then we've got Gambit. We've got Austin Butler. We're missing a little bit of diversity here, guys. Now, I'm not one to force diversity into things, but it's looking not very diverse. Now, I understand why it's not diverse. I mean, the characters are not actually diverse themselves. But, I mean, can't we be a little bit brave here, guys? Can't we change this around a bit? We can do what we want. Don't we want, like, Giancarlo Esposito to maybe sit here as Magneto? Don't we want that, guys? Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. What do you think? Wes Anderson for director. I'm going to keep that on screen. And unfortunately, I'm going to give you this brutal bad boy. Because I do not want him touching my incredible Marvel film. That would be catastrophic, to say the least. So, guys, what are we like in this list? Lupita Nyong'o as Storm. So that wouldn't really change the situation because Stanley Newton is also black. So I don't think that would change things. I think one of these other characters need to change personally. But anyway, I think actually over here could change as well. But hey, what do I know? Director, guys. Who should be the director? Who should be the director? Who do you think should be the director? Right now, we have Christopher Nolan and Gareth Edwards. If you don't know who Gareth Edwards is, he is a gentleman who made the Raid films. So you know this film's going to have some kinetic fight scenes. This is going to be balls to the walls. Balls to the wall. It's Gareth, no, not Gareth Edwards, Gareth Evans. This is going to be just non-stop fighting from start to finish. Just one location. Jubilee for more. We could do, but that would require me doing more work. As director and beast. What about Scorsese? He loves these kind of films. What about Scorsese? Do you think Scorsese would be a good choice for this? There's Gareth Evans, the director of The Raid 2. David Leitch directed Bullet Train. He also directed the awful film that I saw the other day, The Fall Guy. Terrible, terrible film, which is going to lead us nicely into our subject about 10 films that get 10 and films that don't get 10. Christopher Nolan is doing Days of Future Past. Sounds like something he would do. Yeah, totally agree with that. But this script isn't Days of Future Past. This is an incredible script from a Hollywood writer, top Hollywood writer. And it's got no time travel, no flashbacks. Scorsese would cast Leo as Xavier and as Magneto. Probably. And I wouldn't say no to that. Why not Scorsese? Spielberg would be a lovely choice. Spielberg would be a lovely choice. Greta Gerwig. That's all I'm going to say. If you want a female director, Catherine Bigelow would be a better choice. Not Greta Gerwig. That's what we're doing, guys. I've put Gareth Evans there for now. I'm happy with him. I'm happy with that. Still not happy about the options here. So I may have to switch out. I mean, this is an incredible cast. It really is an incredible cast. I'm going to screenshot this because I might change it. I think I might put Giancarlo Esposito in a role. And he can either, it's up to you guys, he can either be Professor X or Magneto. So talk to me, guys. George Miller. Oh, that would be gorgeous. That would be Denis Villeneuve. He's too contemplative. He's too contemplative. He would take, he would be very slow film. I don't know. No, not for me. Mel Gibson. George Miller's a good shout, you know. Magneto. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Let's do that. Let's put him as Magneto, and then I think we're done. Apart from, guys, choose George Miller or Spielberg. Choose George Miller, Bigelow, or Spielberg. Choose now, or forever hold your peace. Choose now, or forever hold your peace. And also, if you've not hit the like button, what are you waiting for? George Miller and Spielberg are goats. George Miller, we've got one George Miller here. We've got another Miller. We've got a Spielberg. We've got a Spielberg. We've got a tie. I need a couple more votes and then, well, 3 more votes. Miller again. So Miller's winning. Who else? Spielberg or Miller? Miller again. It's looking like it's going to be Miller. Just remember, guys, I think you guys don't realize something about George Miller. He's fantastic in his own world, which is his George Miller world of Mad Max. But this man also directed Babe 2 and Happy Feet. And he directed 3,000 Years of Longingness, which, you know, come on, honestly. So I don't think you guys realize he's not the person you think he is. But just saying. I don't know if he can handle this. It's quite old as well. But there we go. There we go. George Miller. So there we go. Well, Kerwin, I think he is, but only in his own world. So, I mean, he was going to direct Justice League, and Armie Hammer was going to be Batman. So maybe he is a good shout. So that leaves us with George Miller as director. As Gambit, Austin Butler. Magneto is now Giancarlo Esposito. That was a little bit of positive casting there from me. Storm is now, well, she's always been, Thandie Newton. Rogue is still, I'm not liking this one. I'm not liking this one. Mia Goth. She's just too wiry. She's not like, and guys, what was the criteria I said at the beginning? The accent needs to be that Southern Belle accent. And then also, you know, just based on the comic books, based on the cartoon, she does have a considerable asset behind of which she sits on. And Mia Goth, I've not seen hers, but I'm sure just based on this picture here, it's a bit bony. And I'm not trying to objectify her. I'm just saying in the cartoon, that's what it is. And I'd like to stick to the cartoon because it worked. Why break a formula that works? We need to get bums on seats here, guys. And Mia Goth, she ain't got it. She ain't got it. Yeah, speculation. Don't worry, I will say your comment and I will answer your question. We're going to talk about tens in a minute. Ooh. So Ray Gaiman, again, I don't think she's got what we need. She can't do the accent for sure. And anyone else? Anyway, Rooney Mara is Jean Grey, Daniel Day-Lewis is Professor X, Cyclops is Tom Cruise, and Wolverine is Tom Hardy. And then Mia Goth is ruining everything. Brutal Bad Boy, you make a great point. That's the one. This is the cast. Mia Goth has got a big ass, and his name is Shia LaBeouf. So there we go. That is our cast. Right. We're done. Again, guys, collectively, we've pulled off a miracle, an absolute miracle, which takes us on to a subject that we didn't plan on talking about, but I don't mind going into it for a bit. So let's move on to this subject. Start thinking, guys. Start thinking. What films have you seen that have been a 10?
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
Can we watch that again? Look at the way that I forgot Ellen Page's name. Elaine Page? Ellen Page? I forgot their name now because that's not their name anymore. But
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
that's the worst run I've ever seen in my whole life. Absolutely the worst run I've ever seen in my whole life. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Right. Elliot, that's the one. Elliot Page. Terrible run. Okay, cool. So we've finished our tier list. We've finished our X-Men casting, fantasy casting. I think we've come up with an amazing choice here. You guys should be proud of yourselves. I know as a studio executive, I'm proud of myself. I'm going to take off my blazer because I'm boiling flipping hot. And also, I'm not a studio exec anymore. So, and this is not a striptease. Just taking off my blazer. So, guys, talk to me. Tens. I need your tens. What are your tens? Because we're going to have a nice discussion, nice discussion about if films can be tens. I did a video about this a while back, And I conclusively proved by talking about it in the video that there are no 10s. There are no films that are 10s. I've never seen a 10 in my whole life. I've seen so many incredible films. None have been 10s. The closest have been 9s, like Space Odyssey 2001, Godfather 1, Godfather 2, Apocalypse Now, and a whole bunch of films. But I've never seen a 10, which brings us onto the conversation of what you guys think are 10s. And I cannot wait to hear what you guys think are 10s. So put them in the old chat and we will go through them. And I will try and respect your choices. I will try and respect your choices. Don't be shy. Put it in the chat. I'll bring it up, but don't worry. The room is a 10 for sure. Tommy Wiseau is a genius. He is a genius. Whiplash. Okay, so Kevin, I'm going to star that one. We'll talk about that in a minute. Godfather's the closest to 10 I've seen. So, Brutal Bad Boy, what would you give it out of 10 then? If there are no 10s, then 9s are 10s effectively. In my world, yes. But I'm still holding out for hope that I will see a 10. It's looking very unlikely based on the way films are going, but I'm holding out for hope that there will be a 10 in my lifetime. I would love to see a 10. This is a fantastic choice. Let me star that, and I'll come back to that. Schindler's List, love this. I have put that at a star. 9.5. I'm definitely starring that one, Brutal Bad Boy. We'll talk about that in a minute. Anyone else? Seven Samurai is really close for a 10 for me, but for a slow burn. That is also the quality of the film. Takes its time to flesh out a character. Love that. I have starred that. We'll talk about that in a minute. So if you just joined the chat, hello, CJ Lawrence. Paris, Texas. So before, I would love to talk about those two films. So I've starred that. We'll come back to that. If you just joined the chat, two things are happening right now. Three things have happened. Well, two things are about to happen. One thing has happened. We've finished our tier list. We've chosen the cast for the next X-Men movie. So when you go on to Variety or Hollywood Reporter tomorrow, you're going to see the list, the names for the next Hollywood production MCU of X-Men. That's conclusive as of right now. Next thing is 10,000 subscribers made today. Thank you very much, guys. You guys are incredible. Absolutely love you. Thank you. Next thing is, please hit the like button because, if we can get more likes, then we can grow. It's kind of the maths here. And then now we are talking about if any film can be a 10. Can any film get a 10? And I don't mean can any film get a 10. I mean, has any film that you've seen ever been a 10? Unforgiven is a 9. Let me put that to one side. Thank you, Brutal Bad Boy. Sanjit. So yes, Sayajit Ray. This is another director I've not checked out. Sagnik. So I need to check him out. Karate Kids is a 10. I'm not gonna put that on the list, Vitaphone, because I think you're trolling there. But do love it. Wish I could direct an X-Men movie. One day, Ray Gaming, one day. X-Men 17 or something. Maybe. Vitaphone, I see a man of culture. Guys, any more 10s? If you're just watching the stream and you're not commenting, that's absolutely fine. No pressure on you whatsoever. And if that is the last 10, then we can move on and talk about each 10. John S., a perfect film, is there one? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. I don't think there is a perfect film. I've not seen a perfect film yet because a 10 would suggest that a film is perfect. Might as well drop. Yep, there we go. Cohen, love that. That is now starred. So we'll talk about that in a minute. And then I'll probably tell you guys some of my ones. Well, I haven't got any 10s, but my highest rated films. I think I've told you already, so I won't tell you again. I want to bore you. So yeah, what films are 10s, guys? If you just joined the stream, I want to know what films you've seen that are 10s. Let me know in the chat. Godfather on the Waterfront. Okay, that is starred. We'll talk about it in a minute. Ray, we have got someone mentioned 12 Angry Men already. I've starred it, so we're going to talk about it in a minute. Sagnik, you've said Full Metal Jacket. I'm going to debunk that in a bit. But respect your comment. So Rare Gaming, I think these two films have been mentioned. Oh, La Haine. Nice. Nice. So yeah, if you've just joined, please type in the name of a film that you think is a 10 out of 10. I don't think there is any 10 out of 10 films. I think the highest I've seen is a 9. But we're going to discuss whether there are 10 out of 10 films. Now, of course, we could say 5 out of 5. We could say 5 stars out of 5. Basically, what I'm trying to say essentially is there are no perfect films. When you frame it like that, it makes more sense. But anyone else think there's a 10 out of 10? Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a 9 for me. I'm going to put that starred as well. Controversial one, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Not controversial at all, my friend. That is a good film. Anyone seen A River Runs Through It? I have not seen A River Runs Through It. And I think it's Brad Pitt. The Hustler, 9.5. I think this X-Men is going to be undoubtedly an 8. But it's going to make us a shitload of money. And that's all that matters. The money. The bottom line here is the money. Right. Have we done with naming our 10 out of 10 films? Because then I can now go through them and we can talk. Got so many to go through. But I think you guys are going to be surprised. Sally Field, Danny Glover film. I don't think, is it? I think it's a Brad Pitt film with Anthony Hopkins. Maybe I'm wrong. A film can reach 10 by either technical merits or its contribution to cinema being undeniable if a film has been seen. Has to be seen. Yeah. All right, cool. So, we have got the speculationer who came up with some really good questions in the chat, but we're going to come on to that last. No film is a 10, you said, Stagnick. Love that. You're the one who started off this debate. So now we're here. Let's do it. Whiplash. So Whiplash is definitely the director's best film. It's not a 10. It's definitely an 8. And again, this is my opinion. I'm not right. I'm not wrong. You guys not right. You guys not wrong. We're just having a chat. But I don't think it's a 10. I don't think it's anywhere near, because the argument was initially, I asked you guys to say, what are your 10 out of 10s? Because what I want to do is I want to compare what we consider to be the greatest films ever made and compare them with these films. So Whiplash, is it as good as The Godfather or The Godfather Part 2 or Space Odyssey 2001? Or, I mean, I put Whiplash on the same par as Black Swan. So for me, Whiplash is I would give it a 7 or an 8. I'd give Black Swan a 7 or 8. I wouldn't give it a 10. I think it's close, but I think it's just a tier underneath. So when we're looking at the best films of all time, we have to go. The only way we can do this is by going, these are the best films, and these are the middle films, and these are the worst films. That's the only way we can give a film a 10, if we're going to give them a 10. And as you know, I don't think there are 10. So 12 Angry Men, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Fargo are some of the first films that come to mind as a 10 for me. So MK, 12 Angry Men is an incredible film. And that would definitely sit in that top tier of 9. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, I think would just drop underneath into like the 8 territory. And the reason for that is I think it's the seminal film. I think it's an important film, but there are many seminal important films that are not 10s. And I think this is one of them. Fargo is not for me. It's definitely an 8, but it's as close to a 9 that you can get. But I think it's so close. It's so close. If it was a 9, I wouldn't argue with that, but I don't think it's a 10. Segnick says Schindler's List. Schindler's List is top tier. Space Odyssey is top tier. Doctor Strangelove, for some people, is top tier. I don't think it is top tier. I think it's satirical, which is fine, but I don't think that it quite is of the level of Space Odyssey 2001. The Godfather, yep. I wouldn't say 9.5. I think that's cheating a little bit, but yeah. Okay, so Brutal Bad Boy. I forgot what film it was that you said was a 9.5. Ooh, let me know in the comment. in the comments. We've got some more films here. We have Sagnik with another film. We have John with another film. We have John with another film. And we have John saying this. Isn't The Godfather? Definitely not. Definitely not. Godfather. Okay, cool. Do we ever get zombie movies? What do you mean by that, John S? Let me know. So Godfather, yeah, as I said already, it's top tier. If we compare, for me, if I compare any film, I go straight to The Godfather. Would probably suggest to me that I think The Godfather is the best film ever, even though I think Schindler's List is the best film ever. But if I keep comparing everything to Godfather, that says a lot about what I think subconsciously about The Godfather. Right. Seven Samurai is definitely up there. It's on that top tier. So I agree with that, Rare Gaming. CJ, I think I have a problem with Paris, Texas. My problem is I don't like it. I also don't think it's anywhere near The Godfather. I can see why people like it, for sure. But I don't think it's anywhere near The Godfather. I mean, okay, let's do this. Is Paris, Texas the best film of the 80s? No. I'm trying to think what the best film of the 80s is, but it's not the best film of the 80s. Raging Bull. Raging Bull's better than Paris, Texas. So if it's not the best film of the 80s, or even the best film of the 90s, it can't be a 10. Before Sunrise is the first one of the trilogy. It's not a 10. I think it's one of the best romantic films ever, but I don't think it's a 10. Well, I know it's not a 10. I think Annie Hall is better than Before Sunrise. Even though I hold Before Sunrise way up there, I think Annie Hall is a better film than Before Sunrise. So I would say Annie Hall is more of a 10 than Before Sunrise. But again, these are just my opinions. Unforgiven it's just below. It's just below for me because it's a good film. It's a very good film. It's one of the best Westerns ever, but it's not the best Western ever. I would put The Good, The Bad, The Ugly above Unforgiven. I put quite a few Westerns above Unforgiven. So I wouldn't, but it's a really, really good film. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. No, not for me. I would give it a 7 personally. But if you gave it an 8, I wouldn't have an issue with that. But again, Godfather, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. There's no comparison. Unforgiven is better than Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. So not for me. Pulp Fiction is top tier for sure. It sits up there with The Godfather. Definitely agree with that. And of course, On the Waterfront, I think it's just below. I think it's definitely like an 8 tier, or in your guys' world, a 9 tier. I don't think it's quite on the level of The Godfather. 12 Angry Men's been said. Full Metal Jacket. Okay, so Sagnik. Is Full Metal Jacket Kubrick's best film? Is it the best film of the 80s? I don't think it's Kubrick's best film, and I don't think it's the best film of the 80s either. And you said it there. The first half is incredible. The second half is also good. I appreciate it a lot more now that I'm older. When I was young, I think I first saw it when I was like 11 or something. I was like, oh, the first half's really cool. There's loads of, confrontation and dialogue, and this character's trying to do this character's trying to do that. And the second half is just very monotonous, but that's kind of the point. And that's kind of why it's not rated highly for me, because the second half isn't as good, but it is good. The second half still good. It's just not as good as the first half. So I'll give it an 8 myself. Yeah, so we said those already. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Any more takers, guys? Any more takers? Here we go. Got another taker here, Barry Lyndon. And we got Taxi Driver. And then in a minute, we're going to move on to some other kind of films. I don't think the 10 has to be the best film of the decade. There can be multiple 10. Totally agree with that. But what I was doing there is I was saying, is this film, what I'm trying to do here is saying, is this film as good as even this film? So when I said, is it the best film of the 80s? What I'm trying to say essentially is it as good as Raging Bull. Because if it's not, the conversation's moot, isn't it? If Paris, Texas is not as good as Raging Bull, then already it's not a 10, if that makes sense. Doesn't have to be, okay. Format check, a great movie, but it's not up there. Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. Love this, John. John, you got so many films, bloody hell. And so Sagnet, yeah, I said Apocalypse Now initially. So we've got a couple more films here to talk about. We have got The Hustler. No, we've got loads more films to talk about. We have got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I've not seen. Not really a massive horror film fan. Don't find them scary. So I can't really speak on that. Monty Python, Holy Grail. So Ray, let me tell you why that's not such a bad choice. Because what I did a minute ago was I compared Before Sunrise with Woody Allen's Annie Hall, because they're very similar films, they're the same genre. And if I compare Monty Python and Holy Grail with other comedies, it's maybe like one of the most important comedies ever made, if not the most important comedy ever made. So I personally wouldn't put it in that top tier, but for comedy films, I would. Hustler is an 8. Hustler was an 8. I appreciate it a lot more when I was like 12 or something. I was like, this is great. And then I watched it maybe last year and I was like, this is good. This is very good. But it's not quite an 8. Actually, I think I kind of prefer the sequel by Martin Scorsese. Come and See is definitely top tier. Fight Club is my favorite film of all time, but it's not. It might be a 9. It might be. Psycho and Repulsion. I've not seen Repulsion, which is, I tend not to watch that director's films. I don't want to say his name. Psycho is a very important film. Very important film. I think this is kind of touching on the point that Vitaphone made about a film being so important that it's seminal. And I think Psycho is definitely a seminal film. It's one of those films that if you want to make a horror film, you quote it all the time. It's such an important film. So it's definitely top tier. Night of the Living Dead. Not seen that either. The Godfather, we spoke about numerous occasions. Barry Lyndon is an incredible film, but it's not quite there. It's definitely an 8. Taxi Driver, 100% Taxi Driver. 100%. The Thing, it's going to be controversial what I'm about to say here, but The Thing is just a good fun film. It's not, I know you love The Thing, Vitaphone, so I don't want to talk too badly about it. I'm not saying anything bad. I just don't think it's Godfather levels at all. I don't think it's anywhere close. But it's a really, really good film. Really, really great film. 2001, Fight Club. Groundbreaking, Psycho, Night of the Living Dead, real slasher zombie movies. Not seen. Big Psycho. Not heard of that. Apocalypse Now, 100% Apocalypse Now. Right, what else have you guys got? What else? Hit me with it. Oh, this is a good one. Love this. Yeah. Less said about him, the better. The less said about that man, the better. Event Horizon. Guys, what would you give Event Horizon? I know it's one of those cult films that everyone seems to love. I've seen it once. Not a huge fan. I must say. CJ. Lawrence of Arabia. Totally. Let me get these last ones up. So we had Sagnet who said Lawrence of Arabia initially, and then we had Wonderful of the Cuckoo's Nest, which totally is incredible. 100%. Lawrence of Arabia is the film that Dune, Indiana Jones, any film set in a sparse desert is trying to be. It's just like Vitaphone said, it's one of those films that is seminal. It's a seminal film. And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is an incredible film and definitely top tier. For sure. Kerwin, I would give it a 5 myself, but I appreciate when people give it a 6.9. The Cure. Is Cure. What's Cure? What's Cure? Yeah, I've heard so much about this film, Sagnik. I think that's going to be the first film that I watch when I watch Ray's films. I've heard very good things. 8.5. Ooh. 8.5. It's such a weird film. Such a weird film. It inspired a lot of. There wasn't many films like that film before that film came out, so it's very seminal. So I would put it in the Vitaphone important film list for sure. Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko. I mean, Ray, before I say anything about Donnie Darko, are you a huge fan? It seems like you are, but I don't want to insult you. So let me know if you're a huge fan of this film before I insult you. But not for me. Not for me. Let me know. Let me know. Kishito Kiyoshi's Kurosawa. Not heard of it, Ray Gaming. Not heard of him or it. The thing is, top 250 of all time. Only 2 other horror films rank higher: Alien and The Shining. Yeah. The problem is with The Thing. It's just lacking something, and unfortunately, what it's lacking is the filmmaking. And that's going to maybe offend you, because I know you love John Carpenter. I think he's your favorite director. Can I be rude and say I prefer... I actually prefer Big Trouble in Little China. That maybe sounds outrageous, but I actually prefer Big Trouble in Little China. And if you guys have not seen Big Trouble in Little China, you need to put that on right now. American Psycho. Nah, it's like a 7. Like a 7 for me. Body Snatchers. The original Body Snatchers. Battle Royale. So Battle Royale kind of divides people. Some people think it's genius. Some people think it's just nonsense. I'm in the camp where I'm like, yeah, 50-50. 50-50. So, Ray, I would say that Donnie Darko had an impact upon its initial release. And I think as time has gone on, it's not been particularly kind to Donnie Darko. I don't think it's seen as a great film. Sorry, I don't think it's seen as a great film as it was back when it first came out. I think maybe that's because the director's kind of fallen off the planet. But on top of that, it is a bit nonsensical. I know you'll sit there and tell me that it makes perfect sense, but yeah. I'm sorry, Vitaphone. I prefer Big Trouble in Little China. Sorry. Ghost in the Shell. Wow. That's a great shout. Ghost in the Shell is an incredible film. So is Akira. Akira is brilliant as well. In fact, Akira is better than Ghost in the Shell. Yes, Big Trouble in Little China is just so good. So good. So fun. It's like, it's an action hero. It's an action movie with an action hero who's not an action hero and awful. He's awful action hero. He's chauvinistic. He's got a big mouth. He's like this really dumb American who's put himself in the midst of this battle, this battle between Asians that he thinks that he can control and he can't. And it's so satirical and so much commentary going on there. Bloody love it so much. The Thing is a brilliant film, bud. Yeah, it is. Okay, guys. So we've done. I don't think this tens. Like, I don't think this tens at all. The Cure is considered Japanese best hero. Okay. Thank you for that. I might watch that. Thank you. In the Mood for Love. In the Mood for Love's not a 10, but it's definitely a really, really good film. Very sparse film. So, guys, we've done best films. What films are the worst films? Because I think it's only fair. If we're going to do the top films, let's do the worst films. And that'll be the last thing we do in our 2 hour and 40-minute stream. Talk to me. Talk to me. What are the worst films you've seen? Twilight. Which one, bad boy? Brutal bad boy. Which one? Which one? Parasite is a straight 6.5. Oh, what are you saying there? Parasite is straight 6.5. You're saying Parasite, the film, is 6.5. I love Big Trouble, but the paranoia stands the test of time. Brilliant meditation ability. Yeah. I get it. I mean, essentially, The Thing is a better film than Big Trouble in Little China, and I think I just enjoy Big Trouble in Little China more. If that makes sense. That's not to say I don't enjoy The Thing. I just love Big Trouble in Little China. If I had to pick a John Carpenter film, I really love the film with the boxer as well, Roddy Piper, I think. Not boxer, the wrestler. Yeah, so what's the worst films, guys? What is the worst films? And then we are done. The worst films. Twilight, and you went all of them. All the Twilight films are terrible. The worst films you've ever seen. Why? Talk to me. I mean, I've seen 3 of them, and I wouldn't say the worst films I've seen, but they definitely had little to zero impact on me. Thank you again. You helped me out with that before, Vitaphone. You told me what it was before, and I forgot. So maybe I don't like it that much. Parasite by Pun Joho is a 6.5. That's like a 7. That's, I guess, the same thing, really. Might be controversial. It's not that bad, but Clockwork Orange. Ooh, that's not a bad shout. We might do overrated in a minute. Let's do the worst. I'll put that in my little start thing. What are the worst films you've seen, guys? Every film between 2010 and 2024. That's not true, because Unsunday's came out in 2010, which is a Denis Villeneuve film, which I would definitely put in top tier, or just below top tier, and that came out in 2010. So, but I get what you're saying. The latest Pet Sematary remake was just Madam Web. I've not seen it, thankfully. I've not seen the Marvels, thankfully, so I cannot comment on those 2 films. But one of them had Sydney Sweeney, one of them didn't. So we'll save the one that didn't. No, we'll save the one that did. No. CJ, I'm gonna start that. We'll come back to that. I do want to talk about that. Captain Marvel 2. Have I seen that? You mean the Marvels? Hyperbolic. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Mr. M. Night Shyamalan in a minute. Wakanda Forever. I've seen it. It's not the worst film I've seen, but it's definitely not very good, for sure. Okay, so let's talk about Mr. M. Night Shyamalan. He's definitely not a hack. I think if he was a hack, it would serve him better, because then he would just take on projects that were destined to be successful. And he doesn't do that. He takes on his own projects that he writes himself. He made one film that he didn't write himself, which was that awful anime. Well, the anime is not awful, but he turned it into an awful film. But when he was younger, and he made Unbreakable, he made Signs, he made Sixth Sense. He definitely wasn't a hack. And if you look at the way he shoots the films, it's so creative. There's some incredible shots there. So he's not a hack, for sure. I will defend him, but I can't defend him when it comes to The Happening. And my God, just some of the films he's come out with over the past 15 years have just been brutally awful. Brutally awful. Honestly. Yeah, Glass. No, I didn't like Glass. I liked Split with Anna Taylor-Joy. I want to get reincarnated with the cinema. So about 2 years ago, I saw Black Adam, worst experience of my life. I've not seen Black Adam, thankfully, and I will never see that film. I stopped watching DC after Aquaman, because that was just an absolute mess. And guys, is it just me? So we're going to talk about overrated films now. So in the chat, tell me about your overrated films. Who is this? Let me quickly put you on this. PFFLSL8. Good to meet you, first and foremost. Second of all, I've not seen Angels and Demons. I've seen the film before that, which was, what's it called? Something blah, blah. Tom Cruise film. Not seen it, so I can't say anything. But I know it's not good. I know that. Wonder Woman. Oh, my God. Wonder Woman 84. Oh, my God. I spoke about this before in a previous stream. I watched it on Christmas Day, and I was so excited because that was the same year of COVID. So we had a really awful year. And I made sure that I got a fake. If anyone's watching this from the police, it wasn't that fake, but it was a fake credit card online so I could stream from HBO and watch Wonder Woman. And my God, that film. Oh, God. That film. I think it's one of the reasons why my channel's called Cinema is Dying. It's just so bad. My God. Just no redeeming quality. Sometimes a bad film has redeeming qualities. This film had zero redeeming qualities. It's got Pedro Pascal, and even he's awful in it. I know some people don't like him, but he's good. He's pretty good. You can't deny that. But he's terrible. I don't know what Kristen Wiig is doing in that film. It's dreadful, and she's terrible. And she was okay in the first film. She was all right in the first film, but she wasn't great. And bringing back Chris Pine, and then the thing is, they brought back Chris Pine, but the way they brought him back was basically, without going in a bit too political here, he basically got Ard. He got Ard, didn't he? Just completely Ard. Anyway, Wes Anderson is just me having a faff. Okay, all right. I was going to go into that, so I'm glad you clarified that. Overrated films. The Mummy starring Tom Cruise that's another terrible film. It didn't offend me as much as The Mummy as Wonder Woman 1984 though. Ooh. Oh dear. Vitaphone has just told everyone in the chat that PTA, a lot of his work is overrated. I'm inclined to agree with you. But can you name some names? I hate Gal Gadot anyway. Why do you hate Gal Gadot? Tell me why you hate her. Is it because she sang during COVID, or anything to do with her acting skills? All of Zack Snyder films. Dear. Yeah. Okay, guys. Overrated films. Name your overrated films. What are your overrated films, please? Before you wrap up, talk to me. What's it gonna be? Even though I've just spelled overrated wrong. Yeah, guys, what we doing? What we doing with these overrated films? I would like to kind of jump on the Vitaphone here, not literally. What I mean by that is the Paul Thomas Anderson shout. I'm gonna, oh God, it's a tricky one. I'm gonna avoid it for a minute. I don't want any smoke right now. This is why I don't want the smoke, because Rear Gaming is here and he's gonna defend PTA. Yeah, I mean, Kristen Wiig is brilliant. She's brilliant, and it completely wastes her potential. Totally agree. Pink Flamingos, the John Waters film. Not seen it. Never will see it. Have no interest in it. It looks like absolute garbage. Garbage, as they say in New York. Joker. Yeah, Joker. Oh my God. I spoke about this on the stream as well. I don't want to talk about it again. It's terrible. Terrible. Logan. This is why I was a bit... When someone said Logan before, I don't know who it was. I think the person's still in here. But they said Logan was the best X-Men film. I don't think so, because I think it is overrated. Not to say it's a bad film, but I think the way it's hyped up, it doesn't deserve the hype at all. All of Nolan films. Hello, Nikita. Or Nikita. All of Nolan films except Memento. Oh, geez. Don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. But I get what you're saying. Tenet's not very good. Batman: The Dark Knight Rises is toilet water. So I see where you're coming from. PTA is good, but nowhere as good as the Coens. I think they're very different directors, though, aren't they? Avatar's overrated for sure. Yep, agree with that, Vitaphone. Precious in The Help. So yeah, we spoke about this before, Jay. Precious, I've not seen, but I think as I said last time, it looks like melodramatic guff. And The Help's okay, it's all right. It's not great, but it's not too bad. But yeah, it did get a lot of hype, got Oscar buzz, got Oscar wins, and maybe it didn't. So it's a good shout. Right. Should we do PTA then? Should we talk about PTA? Because okay, so PTA, Boogie Nights, genius. Sydney, genius. Magnolia, absolute genius. Punch Drunk Love, which everyone seems to love as one of his favorite films, I think is overrated. Some people might say it's underrated. I think it's overrated. I think it's like Paul Thomas Anderson woke up one day and went, I've got some mates who are actors. I've got some money from studios. Let me just go and make a film. And that's what he did. And he had fun. And it's a good, fun film. But it's not one of his best, in my humble opinion. That may offend some people in here. And then he went on to make There Will Be Blood, which is his best film and one of the best films ever made. And then he made The Master, which I've watched this film 3 times now. It's long. It's tedious. It has some really nice moments, especially from Philip Seymour Hoffman. But it's got Amy Adams looking miserable. But it's not good. Inherent Vice is just woeful filmmaking from just a great director as well. It's so bad. And then Phantom Thread is just boring as F. Boring as F. I know I'm going to offend people by saying that, but Phantom Thread is just as boring as F. As boring as F. Come fight me on that. Come fight me on that point. Just rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And the amount of people that say it's a great film. If you ask me right now to tell you a great scene from that film, I can't tell you a great scene from that film. If you ask me to tell you what the plot is, from what I know, he is stubborn. He does things his way. He meets a woman in a cafe in Scarborough or something. He likes her. She poisons him because he's being rude to her. And she keeps doing it. And he likes it at the end. And that's it. Okay, cool. It's not good. I'm sorry. It's not good. Inherent Vice is trash. And it's not even like trash where you can go, oh, I get what he's doing there. It's trash where you're thinking, dude, what are you doing? It's such bad filmmaking. And I hate saying that because I do like Paul Thomas Anderson, but honestly, geez, it's just so bad. It makes me...
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God.
That's how I felt when I was watching that film, Inherent Vice, because I was excited to watch it. And I think it was it in the chat? Let me know. Was that his film after The Master or before? But anyway, I love Paul Thomas Anderson. So when that film came out and I put it on, about halfway through, because it's quite a long film, that's what I was thinking. I was actually physically in my head, physically in my head, thinking,
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh,
I was thinking, oh my God, he's made a terrible film. I didn't think it was possible. And he did. He absolutely did. So yeah, there's my rant over. Anyone want to come on and defend Phantom Thread? Anyone want to defend it? Let me know. Let me know. But Phantom Thread is just absolute trash. Absolute trash. And I would say that Inherent Vice is not even overrated. No one talks about that film. I would say The Master and also Phantom Thread are overrated because they're seen as like his best films. Really? Here we go. Punch Drunk Love is one of my favorites. I knew you were going to say that. It's not the best, but I relate to the theme and the characters to the point where no other film made me feel, "Oh, okay, tell me a bit more about that." It's a really interesting point. I would love to know a bit more about that, Ray Gaming. In what way did it relate to you in a way that no other film did? I would love to hear that. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That means Elvis is erased and every artist that did something with a minor. Ooh, conversation got a little bit spicy there. John, so I've put this on screen. What are you referring to there? Is it Kevin Spacey? What were you talking about? Because it's quite an interesting subject. I would love to jump on it. So talk to me. Oh my God, this guy, Alex Garland. So Alex Garland is not. I've just watched his film Civil War, which is his best film. It's grounded. It hasn't got any sci-fi. It's not trying to push any. Well, it's trying to push some messages, but in the end, it really didn't have any messages to say. It's a good film. It's a well-directed film, well-written, well-acted. Ex Machina is trash. The film after that, whatever it's called, with Natalie Portman, is even worse. And I understand the studios came in and they did whatever they did to it, but there's no excuse for such a terrible film. And then also Men. This guy is so overrated. So overrated. And that film, Ex Machina, is terrible. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Jay, I actually think you'd like Punch Drunk Love. I'm not saying that. It's no shade on you. I just think you'd like it. I actually think you'd really like it. Based on your film choices, you'd really like it, in fact. I think it might actually be one of your favorite films. Again, I'm not trying to shade you. Dread is incredible. So, John, yeah. So, okay, let's go into Polanski a little bit here, though. Because you mentioned his film before, Repulsion. I've not seen it. I've seen Rosemary's Baby when I was about 12 years old. I've not seen it since. I've seen Chinatown, which is truly one of the greatest American films ever made. It's definitely in that top tier that I spoke about. And I think that's it. No, I've seen The Pianist as well, which is another great film. And the thing is, with Polanski, initially, up until about 4 or 5 years ago, I defended him. I was like, oh, he made a mistake. You know, he probably didn't even do it. And, you know, people just had accusations and he ran away. But then I saw an interview that he did in the 80s where he openly admitted to doing it. Not only did he openly admit to doing it, he said that it's absolutely fine. And he said that he keeps doing it now because he moved to France and he did it in France and he got done for it in France or got done for it somewhere in Europe. So he did it again. And then he had a relationship with Natasha Kaczynski, who he put in his film when she was 14. He must have been 40 something. Honestly, at that point, I'm done. And I know we shouldn't mix politics with art and all that crap, but I can't have someone come on TV and admit to the things that he did and be absolutely fine with it and be open with it. And it's just not on. So with Kevin Spacey, he's denied everything. I don't know if that's true or not. It wasn't there, so I can't say if it is true. But I unfortunately cannot defend Roman Polanski or his films. So that's why, for me, I cannot respect him as a filmmaker. Inherent Vice, my first watch, I didn't like it, but grew on me. So did Punch Drunk Love. So I've seen Punch Drunk Love 3 times. I still like it. It's just not a great film. It's just a fun film. It's just a fun film. It's like, I really like Tarantino's. He made those 2 films with Robert. He made those 2 films. One was made by Robert Rodriguez, and who's, by the way, I think is a highly overrated director. We'll talk about him in a minute. And he made, what was it, Death Proof? And I actually like Death Proof. And for me, Punch Drunk Love feels like Death Proof. It feels like just you're messing around with your mates and having some fun. Annihilation, oh my God, for fuck's sake, that fucking film. Absolute guff. Dreadful fucking film. Excuse my language, guys. Got any religious people in the house, I do apologize. And yeah, Vitaphone, you said that before, yeah. However, Vitaphone, I also have to say some people have died under mysterious circumstances. A lot of people, like 6 people. Just saying. PTA films are bad apart from There Will Be Blood, and Boogie Nights. No, Magnolia is tremendous. Maybe his best film, but There Will Be Blood is better, I think. But it's between those two. So I don't agree with that. And you should see his film before Boogie Nights, which is Sydney, which is also good as well. I'm not even defending his actions, but do we erase an artist from history? No, not at all. Not at all. So there's been some allegations against Pablo Picasso recently about the way he treated women, and some allegations towards Roald Dahl as well. Well, not allegations, facts. So no, I'm not saying you erase that art. You can't erase that art. But on a personal level, this is me on a personal level, watching it. In fact, I should give you the interview so you can watch it yourself and see if you feel, if a man sitting there drinking wine on a massive interview with the BBC, by the way, and he's sitting there drinking wine in this dark room with an interviewer, and it's a proper interview. It's not like some hidden camera thing. It's a proper interview, and he's openly saying that I like young girls, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine, and I do it all the time. It's fine. They like it. It's not on. I'm sorry, mate. Like, on a personal level, I can't sit there and like his films. But anyway, we're moving on from that before the stream gets demonetized. Probably will do now. Grindhouse. No one talks about Licorice Pizza. I liked Licorice Pizza. I actually liked it. It's very mood movie. Nothing actually happens, but it's actually really good. Check out my previous comments about Punch Drunk Love. I'll try and do that in a second. I talk about Licorice Pizza and Mr. That's a Julia Roberts film. Tom Cruise of Electric. Yes, he was. He was. Respect the bleep. Lewis Carroll. Are there allegations against Lewis Carroll? I think it was Roald Dahl. Okay. Oh my God. I didn't even think about this one, but I'm surprised Do the Right Thing wasn't raised to a 10. For me, it's on the top. It's top tier. It's 9 out of 10. Was Magnolia Hombre Los remake? I don't know the reference there. Jay, you and your references. You can't erase the art, but you can deny the good and bad artists. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about that anymore because we'll definitely get this channel banned. Any paranormal activity after the first found footage is not designed to be. Yeah, totally agree. It should be a one and done. Most films should be one and dones. Most TV series should be one and dones, which is what we're going to be doing on a tier list next, which is the best TV shows of all time. We're going to be doing a tier list of the best TV shows of all time. So pretty soon on the community page, I'll be putting out a poll or a post, and you guys can name what you think are the best TV shows of all time. I'll also compile my own list, and then we'll do a tier list, and that will last probably as long as today's one. This one actually finished pretty early, in fairness. We've just gone on talking about all sorts of films since then, and we're probably coming to a abrupt close very shortly. Vitaphone, you are definitely going to get this channel banned. I'm going to take that off the screen immediately. Damien is an actor's director. I've lost the strand of that conversation. Damien Chazelle. Oh no. Oh God. So Damien Chazelle. So since we're talking about overrated things, Damien Chazelle is an overrated director. But I think you guys know I think that already, so I won't say anything else. But he's a highly overrated director. He hasn't got the gravitas, the filmography to back up this amazing. You guys hold him up to this specter, this kind of place that directors who have got incredible filmographies sit on. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. I don't understand why no one says that the director of Moonlight isn't as good as Damien Chazelle, because for me, Moonlight is a better directed film than Whiplash, if that makes sense. So I don't understand why he gets so much love. It doesn't make sense to me. He has not got the filmography to back that love up. Searching, Run, Missing. Missing was the first one, and then Searching was awful. Searching was terrible. Run was the one with the mother that she feeds the girl. Without spoilers here, guys. Sorry. If you've not seen Run, then I'm not going to say much more. But I know what you're talking about there, Jay. What filmography? Damien has only... Well, that's it. I mean, and okay, so if we go through his films, we have La La Land, Whiplash. Whiplash is his best film, hands and feet down, whatever that means. La La Land is okay. First Man is not okay. And then we have Babylon, which is definitely not okay. That is not the film. That's not the filmography of a legendary director. That is a filmography of a director who's maybe about to crash and burn if he hasn't already. So, guys, any other? Is there a common trait that exists between overrated directors? Yes, there is. The common trait that exists between overrated directors is they make a film that hits the zeitgeist at the right time, and they are suddenly revered, and then suddenly they are seen as these great proteges. It's happened with Jordan Peele. I'm going to be honest. Jordan Peele, overrated director, has made one okay film. No, Nope is okay for the last 20 minutes. The film in between that, I can't remember what it's called even, it's just okay. I don't particularly like Get Out the way some people do. I think it's an okay film. I think it's a good premise. But Jordan Peele is a highly overrated director to the point where they will go like producer Jordan Peele to sell a film, and it will sell a film. But he hasn't got the filmography to back that up. It's mad. Searching 2008. It's not a Korean film. That's an American film. It's a Korean actor in the lead role, but it's not a Korean film. And I like that chase film of his. Trying to catch what you guys are saying here, whatever conversation you're having. So yeah, guys, I think this has been an extremely wonderful chat. We have 12,000 subscribers, which I want to celebrate yet again. I want you guys to hit the like button, please. That would be tremendous. I don't know how many likes we've got, but last time I looked, we had 16, which is just not acceptable. So guys, hit that like button, please. That would be fan-bloody-tastic. Let me have a quick see how many likes we got. We have got 17. Appalling. So yeah, if you've not hit the like button, please hit the like button. That would be tremendous. I don't think Jordan Peele is ever... So Ray, talk to me then. Talk to me. Why do you think he is not overrated? I would love to hear why you don't think Jordan Peele is overrated. My bad. I thought Jordan Peele directed Queen and Slim. No, not at all. Not at all. 18 likes. Woo! 2 more. We're on 20. Do it. Do it. If you haven't done it yet, hit the like button, please. Hit that like button. We've been on for 3 hours. I'm sure we can get 20 likes. Let's do that thing. Don't worry, Ray Gaming. We're all going to bed now. We're not together, but we're all going to bed. Guys, so we're going to do a TV show stream very shortly. My battery's about to die, so this might have to be a quick, short one. You guys are incredible. Thank you for coming on. If you stay for the whole stream, some of you have, then huge love to you. I'll probably be back at some point this week. I'm not sure if I'll do the TV tier list in the next stream, but I will do a TV tier list this week. Going to try and do another Saturday stream because I think that went really well. So I'm going to try and jump on a bit earlier this time, maybe 2 p.m. UK time, if that suits everyone. If it doesn't, well, I guess I'll find out when I jump in the stream. But you guys are everything, and without you guys, the channel is nothing. So keep on being incredible. Break the like button like Avatar 2 broke the box office. Totally. Get Out and Us felt like a breath of fresh air in horror, making horror films from a different angle. I'm not a big horror film fan, so I can't speak on that either way. I will just say that, like, so what? Sorry, but so what? Like, many directors have done that. If you look at the director of that recent Viking, The Witch, and Hereditary, they did the same thing. They are also seen as great directors, granted, but they're not seen as big as Jordan Peele. It escapes me as to why he's seen as so incredible, because I've not seen an incredible film from him. Ooh, we got it. 21 likes. Jay, thank you very much. Guys, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Robert Eggers, that's his name, Robert Eggers. Yeah, Robert Eggers is considered to be a good director, and he gets a lot of hype, but he hasn't got the hype that Jordan Peele's got, which, again, I don't get it, because, hey, that's the on the box quote. Marcus Flings says so. Oh dear. Ari Aster over Peele. I don't know about that. I do prefer Hereditary to anything Peele's done, but Midsummer's okay, and my battery's dead, so I've disappeared. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. We'll talk about this next time because my battery's dead and I can't bother to change it. You guys are incredible, and I'm out, you're out, and I'll see you guys in a couple of days. I'll let you know on the community page when we'll be back on, and we will do the TV tier list on Saturday, maybe. Big love, guys, and see you soon.